And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you as we are getting set for this one in Cashion here. As got about 20 minutes left on the pregame clock. And Dakota, we heard Coach Luchin there talking about last week, and we covered that just a touch. And add to what he was talking about. First half was, really good for the Boomers in a lot of respects. The only touchdown you really gave up was just a couple splash plays, if you will, in that first half of the offense with Ace running that Wildcat. At 186 yards, as I talked about with Luchin, over 200 as a team in that game, averaging well over 5 yards a carry.
That's pretty good.
It is. It's just
and
when you get behind on the second half of those big plays, you get forced out of that offense. So that's something I think hopefully the Boomers can kind of keep going tonight, is the control, if you will, of the clock.
Yeah, what the Boomers really need to do tonight, Tyler, is play two halves. We see them, have a good 3 point. It's probably other teams leading by 3, in the first half. Then we come out in the second half and we lose control. We can't find the rhythm that we had in the first half. We can't make plays down the field. Seems like we're always getting penalties and everything. And I think that if we play two good sides, I think it's going to be good tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. If you put together two solid halves, that's kind of what we've been waiting on, is trying to put together those two solid halves for the Boomers. It seems like they'll have a quarter, they'll have, or a half that just kind of falls apart on them a little bit.
And it really destroys them, Tyler.
Yeah.
It brings the whole team down, and when that happens, there's kind of not a way of them picking back up on it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something I know Coach Luchin and their staff have been trying to stress, if you will, for trying to finish that. And that's, it's not a district test here tonight, but it's a game you want to win. You want to get that zero off the left side. I mean, we were talking about it off air, and it's just how it is, but Woodward has not won a football game now going on 364 days. If you drop this one tonight,
it's 365 when
a year, calendar year.
Get some milk in the morning, or it's hard for us to to digest that, Tyler. This Boomer team has kind of fought all season long and just can't get anything going up on the board.
Yeah.
Offensively in the second half, defensively, we're seeing good things from Hunter Harrison. We're seeing good things from Lucas Shirky at times, and all other players, Zathan Klingenpelt,
Denzel Emery's had some good weeks now. Yeah.
But we cannot find anything, and I think tonight is going to be an opportunity for the Boomers to possibly win a game. And, we've said that every season, but, with us picking up this game, I feel like we have an opportunity tonight.
You definitely do, and you don't want to squander it. If you want to see our sideline gentleman is here. Should be.
There
he is. Mr. Eric Scott is with us, making his way in. We're in a bit of a weird setup. I don't know if I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, folks, we have the visitor stands. We're on the visitor side here, set up with Boomer TV, and we are literally right next to the visitor stands, kind of out in the open, man, on the street.
You're almost on the sideline.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you guys, I only have to, move maybe 10 yards down here, and I'm on the sideline.
Which,
so,
by the way, is great for our technology with the range.
That's true. That's true.
It makes it so much easier. But no, still have a lot of fun. It's a great view. I kind of like being down here a little bit on more of the sideline view as the broadcaster. I feel like you're just more up close and impersonal with it. But we got about 16 minutes to go on the clock here. So let's go ahead, step aside for another quick break. And on the other side, we'll talk a little bit about some of the roster movement, get some guys back. Lost a couple. It's kind of been in and out. The same goes for Cashion as well. They're kind of in and out on some of their guys. So we'll update where the stars are in terms of that and the health of both teams. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92.
So
And welcome back to Boomer Football here on Z92. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you as we are under 15 minutes now in the pregame clock. And Eric, I'll let you jump in on this because we were kind of talking about as you're getting in, talking about last week and what we saw. Just some of those final stats to reiterate: 200 yards of rushing for the Boomers. 186 of that came from Ace Long, averaging 5 yards carry. Obviously had a couple touchdowns. Strung together those really long drives that controlled that clock in the first half, but also you get into the second half, you find yourself down, and then you have to get broken away essentially from that offense trying to play catch up. And Coach Lucian was pleased, with how the offense ran that first half, but defensively you got to stop some of those big plays, and you're hoping some of that could transfer tonight to where you could control the clock, stop the big plays, and kind of control the flow of the game better. What did you kind of see last week?
And I agree. I think a lot of it goes back to some of those big plays. And it's kind of been like that, several times this year where, last week was kind of the first one where there wasn't too many mistakes really until the fourth quarter. And then we started making some mental mistakes as far as drop passes, things like that. That wasn't terrible last week. But like you said, and Coach talked about, it's those big plays. Think about like Newcastle. Newcastle got at least 2 touchdowns, not necessarily on big plays, but set up by big plays. And that's happened multiple times this season. So, the Boomers can keep everything in front of them tonight, tackle, wrap up, not get tired. I mean, that was a lot of those big plays were late in the late third quarter, fourth quarter, where they start getting tired. So take care of business, and they'll put them in pretty good position tonight.
And now we'll talk about some of those updates we were speaking of there before the break. Do know that Cash Shipley will be out for the Boomers. Lucas Shirky essentially filling in for his spot, going to be receiver out there, and then going to do the kicking and punting duties as well. Other than that, we believe healthy as we could be. Not sure. We're seeing maybe Ace Long kind of up in the air, but it looks like he actually will play. We're on the fence about that because he did take a lot of carries last week, had some hits, things of that nature. So we'll see once we get to kickoff time where he's going to be at. Not to say you want to rest a guy per se, but it's a non-district tilt. You got Elk City and Clinton coming up after, this week. So there's a time to say, hey, let's, lighten the load a little bit on a guy that just took 40 carries in the game as a freshman, essentially.
The other side of that argument, though, is you're at the point where you're not playing for anything.
Sure.
You're only playing to get better. You're playing for pride. So start building on some of that stuff. Start putting some wrinkles in there that, with a freshman in there and, some of your younger guys, what are you going to do as you move into next season? What do you have to build on?
No, that's a good point, Eric, for sure. Do want to update you on there's a couple district games going on tonight. Obviously, as we mentioned, not necessarily playing for the district at this point with the situation, but still going to keep an eye on Elk City and Weatherford play tonight. So that one will be an interesting test with Weatherford hosting Elk City. Woodward's opponent next week. John Marshall and Cash play tomorrow night, and then Clinton goes to Chickasha to play the Fighting Chicks tomorrow as well. Smattering of games in the area tonight as far as our usual Frank Quick Scores Tri-State. I think the big one probably going to be Winoka and Medford. That's a C1 top of district deciding tilt essentially there.
Yeah, really with Winoka beating Timberlake, I don't know if Timberlake and Medford have played yet. So how that's going to line out within the district.
That's what I'm saying. They're playing tonight.
Right.
So.
No, well, Timberlake and
you're talking about
Timberlake and Medford.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if they've played yet. And then so, there very well could end up being a 3-way tie in that district. So it's important for like Winoka to get that done tonight. And probably walk in as number 1 seed into the playoffs.
Yeah, and Medford not undefeated on the season, but I believe 4-2 at this point.
Yeah, they're I think 4-2 or something like that. But they're playing better as the season has gone on.
And they're undefeated in district, as you mentioned, is the big key there. Because if you don't take care of that one for Winoka, then it sets up that scenario as well. And we'll talk about that more at halftime, of course. Hey, while we got the chance here, I do want to thank our great sponsors with Z92. It'll be High Plains Tire, our gold sponsor with us, sponsor of the Boomer Coaches Show, and a lot with us. Top Cat Formal Wear and Accessories, Dairy Queen is our halftime sponsor. Kale Broach Insurance, Great Plains National Bank, Dr. Chrisley Mosley, First Republic Title Company, Triple Clean Car Wash, Divine's Radio Shack, KFC Taco Bell, and then our host of the Boomer Coaches Show, Long Shots Bar and Grill. It's been on hiatus the last couple of weeks just because of fall break, and then this week with the short week, the Boomer team dinner was essentially at the same time as the show, and I'm not going to pry the guys away from the team dinner.
I mean, hey.
You know, can't do that.
Let them have their delicious food because I know they cook good for them.
Absolutely. Back to the Cashion side of things a little bit. We talked about some of the roster updates for Woodward on Cashion. Dakota, we were talking off air about some of the guys to highlight for the Wildcats, and one of them that we thought was going to be in the spotlight defensively, Nathan Abavi. He's out this week, so
And
that's a big
from
big
watching
key
him,
there
you know,
at
he
safety.
can really hop up there and make some great catches on the defensive side as well as the offensive side. So
Yeah.
he's kind of an all-around guy. I'm guessing he probably just got too wore out because, you know, playing both sides of the ball really gets you down.
He comes from good lineage, though. The Bobby kids have been essentially a
A
catalyst,
name,
yeah,
yeah.
for this Cashion team, especially over the last 3 or 4 years. Big part of those state titles as well. So he'll be out. But the other one that you had in your spotlight that we talk about now, not only just defensively at corner, but offensively, he's played receiver, running back, and they find a lot of ways to splash him in. That's Max Brown. Talk about the athlete that he is.
You know, he's kind of just like Nathan, but he's a little bit taller, a little bit bigger in my opinion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't have, you know, height and weight on the roster, but
Yeah.
the kid can make some really good catches. He's really fast. He can he turns his head, you know, so he doesn't get a penalty flag on the defensive side.
Very smart about it.
And he can just kind of run up there with them and stay with them at all times. But got to be careful because when he does jump up for that ball, you best be knowing that is probably going to be his.
Absolutely. And, you know, Eric, the thing we know about Cashion, of course, even though this year may not be the groups that's going to go undefeated or one loss that we've seen in previous years, still going to be a well-coached team. They're going to be fundamentally sound, and they're not going to really shoot themselves in the foot. You're going to still have to play a strong game if you're Woodward and take care of yourself, knowing that you're not going to get many mistakes out of the Wildcats.
Right, absolutely. No, and there's something that is to be said about tradition.
Yeah.
You know, kids growing up seeing winning tradition, you know, they just expect it. You know, and that will probably show tonight. And that's something the Boomers are going to have to fight through because these kids, yeah, they're down, you know, but they've got something to play for. They have a chance to come in here, beat a 4A team on their home turf tonight. You know, so they're gonna be playing hard, and they're gonna expect to win tonight.
Well, and that's you know, Coach Luchin had said essentially what you just mentioned there. It's a 4A team. Cash is not going to care that Woodward's winless. They're saying, hey, this is a 4A team we're bringing in, and when you host them at home like this, it's always a big opportunity when you're playing up. And the other factor we've mentioned a little bit, but we dive deeper into it, is the fact that these two coaches know each other very well. Coach Luchin saw plenty of Coach Shackelford while he was at Hennessy. They scrimmage preseason pretty much every season, and so he knows the scheme. And, you know, obviously Shackelford's going to know what Luchin wants to bring to the table. So you've got that. Even though these teams player-wise aren't familiar, X's and O's-wise are familiar because the coaches are. What does that add as a layer in a matchup like this?
You know, it could add a little bit, so because both the coaches are kind of doing it. Not for themselves, but you know, obviously, when there's a relationship there, you kind of play a little bit different, call the game a little bit different. You know, might even try to throw some plays in there to outcoach somebody.
Right.
You know, things like that. So, you know, but again, the Boomers is just, you know, they've just got to come in and just do their thing, not worry about what Cashion is, not worry about what they've been. Not worried about them being all hyped up. Just go in there and take care of the job, and they're going to have a chance tonight.
For sure. And, you know, back to talk about the future a little bit because we had known the district situation coming in. A couple guys we want to highlight, not just, you know, we talked plenty about Ace Long, but a guy like Denzel Emery that's come back into the fold over the last few weeks has been really stellar at that corner spot. Cooper Littall, haven't shouted out him enough. He's been playing as well with the injuries on the other side of the corner. He's doing great. I mean, both those guys are doing some fantastic stuff. That linebacking core we've kind of highlighted all season long. And I've talked, of course, Casey Bourne, Josiah Beza, those two guys. And then
Making plays all season long.
all over the place. And watching Hunter Harrison as a senior kind of be freed up now as a middle
He's a
linebacker.
monster.
But talk about what we've seen out of the back half of that defense. We know up front they're, you know, senior heavy, if you will. But what have we seen out of the back half of that defense with a lot of those young sophomores?
Yeah, you know, and honestly, we've even seen some freshmen kind of get a little bit even up on the front end of the defense.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Jacoby Brown
Yes,
in there this year. He's a freshman. You know, but that's one thing that, you know, those kids playing with with Hunter and being able to see how he sees the game. You know, because we've talked about how smart he is and how well he sees the field. You know, that's huge, and so that's why, you know, these games like this is going to be a great opportunity for them to, hopefully get a little bit of confidence and continue to build, going into next season. I've talked about we've got a great group of 8th graders coming up that's going to add to the program. So, we're moving up. It doesn't look like it right now, but we're kind of on that upswing, and these kids getting these opportunities, they need to take advantage of it.
Speaking of in the future, just got to shout this out because we did it earlier this week. We're going beyond 8th grade. We're talking about 3rd, 4th graders. Got to watch the Gridiron
Absolutely,
Bowl.
yeah.
Yeah, the Gridiron Bowl down there at Boomer Stadium Tuesday night. Woodward and Canton. Woodward came out on top 33-18, and some good young talent in that one. So.
Well, and that's what towns like Cashion have. Cashion, those kids are starting at, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade, playing and trying to play at a high level at that. They see see these high school kids that they look up to playing at a high level, and that's what they strive for.
Yeah.
So they go in looking for it, and that's one thing I hope continues to, happen in Woodward is we start kids starting to get an opportunity early on, and hopefully as our athletic programs built at high school, that's going to continue to build across the board.
Well, and you've been in the coaching environment, Eric, at schools that you go into, and there's no semi-balance of that, of the lateral of, hey, high school, we're going to go down to the lower levels where it would be 8th and then into the elementary and try to get them connected in that sense. I mean, it seems like a lot of coaches I talk to that walk into that situation, that's one of the first things they try to do is set that up because, like you mentioned, every successful place, doesn't matter if it's Class A or if it's 6A, that's what you try to do. You want to have that lateral sense of, hey, these guys from a young age are going to be able to understand what's expected of them and then move forward. And as we're talking and getting ready to make that point, we have the national anthem here, so we'll turn it over for the national anthem. And the national anthem there by the Cashion band, if you will, and so get on there for that. And speaking of bands, before I throw it to the break here, I do want to shout out our band. Our band got a superior rating at the Northwest Regional yesterday. Went down there and did that, and they've turned around. They're right back up here with us. Not the full band, they're the smaller group, but what a job they've done. Dace Crockett is always phenomenal for them to be able to go get superior rating, Eric, not only in just band side, but the color guard, so a perfect score there.
It was ones across the board, and and Daisy I saw post that she put on Facebook, and talking about how they kind of had a battle through some things. Whenever you have a band like that, it's not physical as far as football or any other team sport, but they're still a team. They've got issues. They've got to have chemistry. They've got to work hard. They're driving all over the state. They're practicing at 7 a.m. And so to see them continue to grow and do what they've done so far, as they closing regionals, that's great to see.
Absolutely. Well, got just a few minutes before kickoff here, so let's throw it to our final break. And on the other side, we'll get this one underway between Cashion and your Woodward Boomers. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. On Z92. There we go. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Boomers coming out of the tunnel as we're getting out of break here, if you will. Get a good row crowd, Dakota, that we've got out here in Cash tonight. You were just talking about it there off air.
You know, Tyler, I think we have more fans than Cashion does. I mean, you take a look, there's probably a good 200 fans here, maybe. I don't know. And then you got maybe 75 over there.
I don't know about that. I'd give them a little bit more than that. But still, to your point, nice road trip. I mean, it's 2 hours, but it's right down 33, and you take a right. So
I mean, with this, how the season's gone, ups and downs with the crowd tonight, hey, that's a bunch of confidence, maybe a little adrenaline for the kids. Let's get pumping up in here.
Yeah, and both teams out of the tunnel now. 0's on the clock, now reset. We will get this kickoff in just a second. Guys, Eric, start with you here. Just final key you think tonight for the Boomers to be able to come out and get the win?
Yeah, I'm really interested because from what, I understand, talking to coaches, things like that, they've got 2 really big defensive ends. So it's what can the Boomers do on the ground, because one thing that we pounded a lot, but sometimes we were able to kick it out, and that helps us out a lot. Are we going to be able to do that tonight?
For sure. Well, and to your point on those defensive ends, Preston Cotter and Jackson Vandruff, 2 athletic guys. I mean, really athletic for their size, and they've got some good size. I think they would do well in a lot of schools. So, but I definitely agree with those points. And Coach Lucien mentioned that in the interview, just trying to deal with that 3-man front. They play a little bit of an odd twist on it. So, Boomers are going to receive to start this one, as Cashion will be kicking. It will be the junior, Chandler Christensen, on the kickoff for Cashion. Watch a bit of film on him. Maybe not the most powerful kicker, but he directions it pretty well in terms of where he wants to kick it.
Carson Medina looks like he's going to be back in the lineup for Woodward tonight.
Yep, he will be back. See Taylor Laird back there as well. And there's a kickoff by Christensen. A bit short as mentioned, but a hop to Taylor. He'll take it here on the near side. He's got a hole, and now pulls over a man. And finally gets taken down there, trying to get the yard line, so we'll get to that.
You know, Tyler, I really like that run there by Taylor Laird. Taking it out. He kind of had a good cut there and stumbled over the defender there.
Yeah, no, it was a good cut, and there was that hole open. You got to credit the kick return team on that, too, to be able to give them that hole. The Boomers will take over at their own 35-yard line. 1st and 10, just underway here if you're tuning in. Ace Long is out there in the single back. It's going to be Ryan Douglas under center. You got 2 to the near, 1 to the far. The furthest is Laird. Now in motion, we'll go Mason Bourne across formation from the near side. Boomers will hand off inside to Long. He's going to plunge forward for some good yard. Ball came out. Ground. And did Cashion recover that? They did. So they forced the turnover straight away. A fumble, and Cashion gets it on one play for the Boomers after a fumble by Ace Long.
You know, Tyler, I kind of thought he was down, but I guess he wasn't. Eric, did you see anything down there?
No, it was a fumble. He wasn't down yet. As somebody.
Oh, get out there. There, we got you. We got you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Somebody just kind of poked their fist in there and popped it out.
Went with the peanut punch, if you will. So Cashion will take over 1st and 10 at their own, or at the Boomer 43. With 11:47, so a quick turnover there.
Trying to make him jump early, Tyler.
That it is. That is junior quarterback in there for Cashion of Chance Accord. That's a handoff.
Oh.
Broken tackle.
Moose.
Yeah, Moose with the finish. Couldn't tell who the Boomer was that couldn't quite make the tackle, but slowed him up enough.
It's going to be Lewis.
Luis Corral.
Yeah, Luis Corral.
So good job there by the Boomer defensive line. Holds Cashion to essentially no gain.
That was a great job by Luis to kind of get back there and slow him down, and Moose was able to finish him off.
I don't think he necessarily got hurt on that play. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Was a bit of a pop in there. This will be 2nd and 10 now for Cashion. Accord will take the snap. He'll hand off to Frazee inside. Got a little bit of a hole, but he's tackled after just a couple of yards.
That's going to be Taylor Laird, the senior for Woodward, wrapping him up, it looks like.
Coming up from that safety spot. Only a 2-yard gain, they'll call it.
Yeah, and again, Casey Bourne getting in the backfield as well, kind of getting a hand in there.
So 3rd and 8 upcoming for Cashion. A quick pass, has a man open and caught there on the inside slant. That's the guy we were talking about, Max Brown.
Yep, you know, he's really quick, and he has a really good way of putting his shoulder down and trying to fight for those extra yards. That looked like it was Denzel Emery on the tackle.
Quick snap here by Cashion. Gives it to Frazee on the outside. A great open
And the
field
ball's
tackle
down,
by
ball's
Taylor
down.
Laird.
Oh.
Laird. And yeah, ball down. They're calling down, but a great open field tackle by Taylor there from the safety spot.
2nd and 4.
2nd and 4 upcoming, as Dakota mentioned. 6-yard run there by Frazee. Acord's going to be in the gun. Snap it back high, but he corrals it now. Hand off to Frazee, who cuts back inside up the gut, looking for a little bit of space. Found maybe a yard or two there. It's going to be 3rd down. It's going to be 3rd and short, it looks like, for the Wildcats.
Watch that slant route again.
Yeah, 3rd and 1 here. They gave him a gain of 3 at the Boomer 22. Snap by Acorn, a flag. Is that going to be a false start, Eric?
That's going to be a false start right over here on our sideline.
And that will back up Cash. So 3rd and 6 now from what they will call from the 24-yard line. 9:47 to go in the first quarter, still scoreless. Cash will reline it up. Acord in the gun. Frazee with him. A receiver on each side. They try to get the Boomers to jump, and they do. So the Boomers give back the penalty yards, and it's going to be 3rd and 1 again.
Capitalizing on mistakes, we can't.
Oh, cut out back, Eric. But yeah, no.
We can't be doing that, giving them the ball back close to the chains.
Yeah, you get them backed up 5, and you just give it right back, so you negate those penalty yards. 3rd and 1 now for Cashion. Cord in a gun. He'll take the snap. Fakes the handoff. He's under pressure. It's going to be a screen, though. He's got a man on that far sideline, but a nice tackle by Taylor Laird in the open field. Did they get enough for the 1st down? I don't believe they did.
I want to say he got kind of for back, maybe for a loss. 4th and.
Looks like they've marked it essentially no gain. So Cashion going to go for it on 4th and 1 here. Quick to the line. Accord in the gun. He'll take snap. It's over his head, though. Frazee's going to grab it out of the air. Boomers are in the backfield. They don't tackle Frazee, though, and he might have the 1st down. And he does. They take a broken play and get enough for the 1st.
I think that was one of those situations where the Boomers were so caught off guard that the ball came right to him because there was about 4 or 5 guys that overran him, basically.
Right. Well, and you got to give a nod to Frazee for realizing the situation, making something out of nothing. A 6-yard gain since a 1st and 10 for Cashion. Now the handoff inside again here to Frazee.
Luis Corral looks like he's going to be the one to drag him down there.
And got him for a short gain, about 3 yards. Oh, excuse me, 5. That's more than it looked like there. So 2nd and 5. Quick goes Cashion. The quick out and caught there on the far sideline. A few yards gained more by Max Brown. Let's see where they gained it. And it'll be a 1st down for Cashion. So 1st and goal. 1st and goal to go. Quick snap. Acord will take it. Handoff inside to Frazee. He's fighting. Did he get there? And he did. It's a touchdown, Cashion. And the Wildcats will strike first with 8:04 left to go in the first quarter to go up 6-0. On for the extra point here now will be Christensen. Chandler Christensen for the Wildcats. There's the snap, the hold, the kick, and that one's going to be good. So Cashion, as mentioned, strikes first. They lead 7-0 now with 8:04 to go in the first quarter. Step aside for a break. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you as Cashion has struck first. They lead 7-0 with 8:04 to go in the first quarter. Got the ball off a first play fumble by the Boomers, went 43 yards to take care of it on a few plays there. Looks like close to about 10, and Eric Cashion able to get some consistent yards and Boomers couldn't quite make all the tackles.
Well, I think that kind of, what we were talking about cleaning up mistakes, really that, from our first play all the way through, it was mistakes. We, fumble, offsides, and then missed tackles on a broken play and different things like that. That's really a perfect storm on the first defensive possession.
And now Chandler Christensen on to kick off here for the Wildcats. Back deep to receive is Taylor Laird and Medina. Kick goes straight to Laird. He's got a good one to field and try to return. It's coming to Medina, Medina here to the near side. Gets about the 30, cuts up to the 40, and gets close to the 50 there before he's knocked out of bounds. And the Boomers will take over on some good field position. They've tried to keep it away from Taylor. A lot of teams have most of the year, but Carson, every time he gets a chance, is almost just as successful to cover.
I mean, he has kind of one of those bodies that you kind of just slip and fall back off, but really good their opening gap that they created for him to kind of get up way up there. Or did they mark it back?
Yeah, I think there may have been a flag.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, they're moving it back.
I didn't see the call, but I heard a lot of people upset. So
I thought it's going to be more so at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, it was going to be actually near the 46, but as you said, with the penalty, back at the 20. So that's where the Boomers will take over. Turn the handoff inside to Long, and he's not going very far as they'll crowd there at the line of scrimmage, essentially. They'll bring up a second down for the Boomers.
That's something the Boomers are going to have to figure out to work, because like we talked about, the defensive ends, they got a couple really good defensive ends. It's going to be a lot harder for them to stretch it out tonight, so we've got to figure out a way to get things working up the middle.
Jackson Vandriff and Preston Carr, those two senior ends we talked about, very athletic, good size for him. Under center, Long in the backfield, got two receivers.
False start on the Boomers.
And so back up the Boomers was that false start, unfortunately. Talked about those mistakes, Eric. Keep mentioning you got to clean up quick because you are in a road of the way that we have to
throw. That's that's a safety.
Yeah, no, and that's a good point for sure to say, hey, you're on that near hash. Like you said, you got to be careful, and you cannot afford it for sure with that penalty. So 3rd and 15 for the Boomers. And the gun now will be Douglas. Along with him in the backfield. Two receivers to the far, one to the near. Douglas is back pass. He's going to launch pass to the far side. Looking for Taylor Laird. It's picked off by Max Brown. Gentlemen, we talked about, you mentioned it, Cody. He could get up and he high point to that one.
I didn't think that he was going to have that much jump on Taylor Laird there because Taylor's a tall guy, but Max Brown somehow comes out with it and got that hop, He really good at using that.
Well, and unfortunately, that ball was pretty well overthrown.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stood back there and was waiting on it and went up and made the play.
And Cashion going to take over 1st and 10 in Boomer territory now.
Got to get something rolling on the defense.
Cord in the gun, looks back to the sideline after the hard count. Looks like they marked it to 43. Cord gets the instructions now. Go back to his line, check his QB notes there. Fakes the handoff to Frazee. Got a man open over the middle. It's Higdon, the tight end, streaking down the field. Nobody's going to catch him. And just like Cashion strikes again, a seam play action pass to Max Higdon, the tight end, 43 yards. Cashion will go and extend their lead now, 13-0.
Hey guys, this is what those early frustration, the turnover, the penalties can do. They're, right now, the field for the Boomers in the white shirts, there's just not a lot of heart, not a lot of passion.
So the extra point coming up here for Christensen. And that is good. So with 6:29 to go here in the first quarter, Cashion now extends their lead to 14-0 over the Boomers. We'll step aside for a timeout. You're listening to the Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Z92. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you as Cashion struck again. 6:29 to go in the first quarter. Cashion on top 14-0. And the Boomers set to receive here and try to return it. A one-play, 43-yard drive there. For Cashion took 11 seconds off the clock.
Kind of seems like just when they the Boomers first had the ball and it kind of gets knocked out from Ace, I kind of feel like that's when Woodward lost a lot of their momentum, Tyler. They came out pretty hyped.
That's what Eric was talking about there for sure. Christensen for the kickoff here. This one a wobbler in the air, fielded by Medina on the far side. He's going to return it up the gut a bit, make a couple of moves. Not a bad return there, or he's corralled by a couple of the Wildcats. And Woodward will take over 1st and 10. Searching for something, guys. You got 2 turnovers on your first 2 drives. You got to start putting together some plays here.
Well, it's also kind of what we were talking about with, they're playing a 4A team on their home turf. They're going to come out on fire.
Yep.
So even though you're over, it's almost like you're the number 1 team coming in.
Absolutely.
Because, they want it. So you got to have a bullseye. You got to almost play a perfect game, especially against a team that has athletes, a team that knows what it's like to win.
Be 1st and 10 for Woodward at their own 30. Douglas is going to be the gut. 2 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. Long in the backfield with Douglas. The furthest is Laird over there. Snap, handoff inside to Long on the counter play. Get some yards up the gut before he's brought down by a host of Wildcats. Not a bad gain. Looks like about 3 or 4 yards on that one. And they'll call it a gain of 3. Bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Boomers.
And as much as the defense has been out on the field, this is one of those drives where I would not mind if it's a give it to Ace every time, let him pound it.
Kind of let the defense wear down.
Exactly. Keep the offense out there, let the defense get a rest, wear their defense down a little bit.
Doesn't even have to necessarily be a scoring drive. You just need some plays to run some of that clock you guys are talking about. Shotgun here for Douglas. 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. He'll fake the handoff. Douglas going to be with himself on the keeper. Gets a nice little hole, gets across, it looks like the 40, and get near the stick, but not quite the first down.
3rd and 4.
So I gave him 3, excuse me. That was a little bit more than that. He got tripped up.
I think that he didn't cut inside where he should have, but.
But that's a wrinkle we really haven't seen with Douglas yet.
Yeah, the keeper.
Is keeper. We saw it when Sam was the quarterback, but he is quick. And so that is something, if we can get it figured out, that adds a little bit more dimension to the offense.
So 3rd and 4 here for the Boomers at their own 37. 5 minutes to go in the first. They trail 14-0. Douglas in the gun. He'll hand off inside to Ace. Ace going to try to weave through the middle, and I think he punched forward for the first down. Got to the 45, it looks like, and that is plenty for the first down. A nice little gain.
Move the chains.
I'm going to say 44, so a gain there of 7.
Always like it when the Boomers can come out here and move the chains a couple times.
And we need it big. We were just talking about it. Got to string together some first downs. And Eric, if you're a coach on the sideline here, you've been through some of these tough road environments where it's like you got to crowd your guys a little bit and say, hey, let's wake up. I mean, you got to bring your own energy on the road.
Yeah, and it's, and hopefully these guys understand they're athletes. They look at there's a lot of time left in the first quarter still. A lot of game to go.
Douglas here on first down, going to float one up over to Lucas Shirky, but that one going to be just a bit too far for Mr. Shirky here on the near side, right in front of us, about the 30. It'll be incomplete. Bring up 2nd and 10. Not a bad play, though. That was a bit better ball, I think, for Douglas.
Yeah, I think that was a good ball. I don't know how there wasn't even a hand on the ball there, but still, those are the kind of throws you want to see Douglas be able to make.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully it's not ill-advised like it was in the last possession when there was an interception.
2nd and 10 for the Boomers at their own 44. 4:16 to go in the first. Douglas in the gun, 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far, Long in the backfield. Douglas will take the snap, roll out to the near side. He's looking. He's going to take off now, make a move, try to get close to that 50-yard line, but he gets just a couple up across the 45, across the 45. It looks like to maybe the 46. He gave him 3.
Yikes.
So that'll be a 3rd and 7 upcoming.
Yeah, I really wonder if that's something that was, they worked on this week with Ryan, is recognizing, hey, you don't have anything there, just go.
Take it, yeah.
Because he did. He looked down, he didn't see anybody open, so he just took it. Scary thing is, he's only listed as 5'6". He's not a very big kid.
He plays bigger than that, though. He plays tough.
Yeah, and he took a pop on that play.
3rd and 7 for the Boomers. 3 receivers to the far, none to the near. Douglas in the gun, along with them. Excuse me, 1 to the near. Douglas rolls out to that far side. He's going to plant. He's going to pass. He's got a man caught. It's Mason Bourne across the 50 into Cashion territory at the 44, and that should be enough for the first down as well. The Boomers will move the chains on a nice little pass right there.
I'm going to kind of continue this Ryan Douglas party because, on that play again, he's starting to look more and more comfortable every time out there. He's kind of struggled a little bit last week, but on that one again, he started to make the throw. He realized it wasn't there. He kind of did a little pump fake, and all of a sudden the throw, was able to complete the pass.
And good on Mason Morton to settle in the zone right there to find an opening. 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 43. Douglas in the gun, 3 to the near, 1 to the far. Douglas takes a snap, handoff inside Ace Long. Not a lot doing those. They tried that counter play, and Cashion is all over. We talked about that big defensive line. They rotate some guys in there at nose as well on top of the 2 ends we've been highlighting in Cotter, and Vandruff. So you're going to have to find a way around that because those guys, I think, Eric, we're seeing them here on the sideline. They would play for a lot of programs at their size.
Yeah, and Max Brown also came in there.
Yeah.
He's a, kind of secondary, kind of a mix between a safety and corner. And, he's recognized it and got in there and made a play as well.
So 2nd and 10 for the Boomers. No gain there on the run. Be Douglas in the gun. He'll fake the handoff and he'll keep it for himself, trying to get out to the edge. If he can get there, he's got some space. He does. He cuts it up, lowers that shoulder, and Douglas going to get the first down. The little man lowered the shoulder for moving the chains.
Yeah, the first guy, he kind of, he lowered his shoulder to kind of take a hit and hit another guy who completely missed him, who's about 5 inches a bit taller than him. So,
a 12-yard keeper there by Ryan Douglas, and that's what you like to see. Just no fear, lowering that shoulder in a good way. Sure, it might get you a little beat up at times, but he took that well. He did the damage. You want to be doing the damage rather than taking it, and I think he gave it there. It's the 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 31. 1:33 to go in the first. They trail 14-0. Douglas in the gun. Takes the snap, hands it off to Ace up the middle. He's running hard across the 25 and be tackled maybe just a bit short of the 25, actually, at the 26. And so a gain of 5 on first. And, hey, back to that 5-yard carry average. We need to see more of that.
And that's what, Douglas being able to make plays like this adds to this offense because it opens up. It really opens things up for Ace to be able to, push it for 5, 6, 7 yards.
Under a minute to go down the first quarter. Douglas will be in the gun. 2 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. And Douglas going to be on the keeper again on the read option. I think he got right at the 30. It's going to be right at the stick, and it looks like it's going to be a first down, the 30 to the 20. Gets the first down, a 6-yard run there by Douglas on the read option keeper.
Hey, Tyler, the kid can carry.
Well, we've known he's been a good athlete. Coach Lucian has sung his praises even before the whole Sam Cheap situation with the injury. He just thought Ryan wasn't quite there yet in terms of ready for varsity level. Got forced in, and like Eric mentioned earlier, he's starting to handle it pretty well and get more comfortable. 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 20. In the gun is Douglas. Got a man in motion. He'll take the snap, handoff inside to Ace Long. Long going to get, about to, looks like the 18 or so maybe just a gain of a couple there, and that should be the final play of the first quarter as we were down to 5 seconds. And it will be. So after one, the Boomers driving, but they do trail 14-0 to the Cashion Wildcats. We'll step aside, come back for the second quarter. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV as well. If you're not checking it out there, you can always search it on boomertv.net and find it. And you can listen to us on Z92. Either way, it's the best of both worlds. Starting the second quarter here, Woodward trails 14-0 to the Wildcats, but they are driving currently, guys, on an 11-play drive that's now eaten up officially 6 minutes and 22 seconds. And they started at their own 30, so you'd really like to be able to come away with the touchdown from this one.
I mean, Ace Long, Ryan Douglas, I mean, they're both kind of putting on a show for us right
Speaking
here.
of Ace Long, here's a wrinkle on the Wildcat we didn't see last week. Ace is out there in the gun with Denzel Emery as a running back and the two upbacks of Ethan Matt just one upback of Ethan Matt.
Hey, I like that name.
Well, no, never mind. Casey Bourne's out there as well. So, receiver each side. Ace is going to take the snap straight downhill. Good block by Denzel Emery. Ace going to get a few yards there. Not a bad carry. Will set up a third
5, maybe.
And short. Yeah, they think they call it a gain of 5. So 3rd and 3 coming up.
3rd and 2.
3rd and 2.
I
So
like
they gave
it.
it 6.
Good job by Ace to keep his feet moving. You know,
Nope, lost you for a second.
he picked up about four extra yards after he got hit.
Looks like we got Cooper Latal coming in with the play.
Just underway in the second quarter. Boomers facing a 3rd and 2. Ace Long going to be in that gun. The Wildcat. Emery with them, the two down backs of Matt and Bourne, the receiver on each side. Ace will take the snap straight ahead. Gets a little clogged up there, though, at the line of scrimmage, trying to keep the feet driving. He may have got an extra yard out of it. Let's see how they mark it. Eric, do we got first? They got it. So good job by Ace. You just said on the last play, driving the feet. Eric, he does again, this time for a first down.
I mean, the kid's a freshman.
Now we'll set up a 1st and goal for the Boomers. And, yeah, they could have always scary to think about, just a freshman.
And this is like what Dakota and I were kind of talking about going into this drive. We need something to sustain it and kind of keep their defense out on the field. You know, even if we don't score here, you think you're at least going to get 3, it's still a win.
You're entering almost 9 minutes now of a drive, essentially. 1st and goal for the Boomers from the 10. Ace in the gun, Emery with them. And this time they'll run it to the near side on the sweep, if you will. Ace is going to plunge forward for a couple of yards as Cashion did a pretty good job to string that out. Ace tried to cut it back up.
I think he got about 2 on the play, possibly.
Let's see how they mark that.
Got about 3 on the play.
So they call it a gain of 3. 2nd and goal coming up from the 7. And yeah, Eric, like you're saying, you're almost guaranteed for points, so to speak, when you're this deep. I mean, you don't count them per se, but we know we can kick field goals from this distance. That edge and turn left field. And how many did he get there? We lost him into. It's going to be 4th and goal for the Boomers. It came up
Looks
short.
like he moved up about 4 yards, so I'm guessing right at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, he was about a yard short. Kind of tried to lower his shoulder but couldn't get in. But great play there by Ace to string it out and recognize where he had an opportunity to make a move.
So let's see how the Boomers deal with this. And a timeout by Coach Luchin with 9:07 to go in the half. Decision time looming. We'll step aside with him real quick. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, and Tyler Riggs with you as there's 9:07 to go in the half. Woodward trails 14-0, but guys got a 4th and goal. They're going to call it from the 3 is where the officials marked it. Decision time here. Do you go for it if you're Coach Luchin, or do you take the 3 points?
I tell you what you do, Tyler. What you do is you stick Ethan Matt there. You give him the ball, and you let him drive straight up the middle for a touchdown.
He loves him some moose.
Yeah.
Hey, I say you go for it. You know, again, we talk about take the easy 3, but hey, you know, it's on the 3-yard line.
Yeah.
You know, why not? You've been getting positive yards. Go for it with Ace out of the Wildcat.
And here they will. Ace Long in the gun. Emery with them here. Receiver on each side. Down backs on the near side of the formation. Ace will take the snap. They'll try to stretch out. No, they run the reverse with Talon. He's got open field, cuts it up into the end zone for the touchdown. So they go with the reverse, and Taylor Laird gets the 3-yard score, and the Boomers are on the board.
You know, I wondered when we saw kind of really a shotgun. It wasn't even a wildcat type of setup. When we saw him kind of back in the shotgun, I wonder if we're going to see something, either a little throw over the top or something like that. So it was good to see him throw something different out there.
And that was a 17-play drive, guys. It covered 17 yards. I counted up there on the break. So, whew. Now on for the extra point here is Lucas Shirkey. Extra point is up, and that is good. So the Boomers able to make it a 14-7 ball game and cut into that lead. We will keep it here as we just took a break there on that timeout by Coach Luchin. But that's exactly what we were asking for, guys, that long drive, get your defense a little caught up on their breath, and now you hope you get the stop to answer.
Yeah, really on this possession, if we can come out there, get a quick stop, and go back and do that again, we're doing a lot of damage to their defense. You know, yeah, it's not big plays, it's nothing flashy, but if you're moving the ball, you're keeping them on the field, you know, it's a lot harder for them to regain momentum.
And Tyler, I mean, Coach Lujan drew that play up perfectly. You know, you thought you were going one way, you had the whole defense kind of shift, and then here comes Taylor Laird trotting around, kind of dancing side to side, and finally gets it to punch into the end zone. I mean, what a play.
And to your point, Go, they set that up earlier in the drive. They ran it twice right there, especially in the red zone. So you set it up, you give Cashion a look, and you hit him with the reverse and get the score. Well blocked as well by the Boomers. And as mentioned, 17-play, 70-yard drive. Guys, that drive started with 6:22 in the first quarter, ends with 9:01 in the second. Officially 9-minute, 21-second drive.
That is 3 minutes shy of
a full quarter. Yeah.
That's
pretty
Two and a
half minutes. You're almost at 2.5 minutes.
That's like college possession time right there.
No doubt. On for the kick here is Lucas Shirkey, and he's going to target it to the sideline. Oh, Max Brown, what are you doing? Oh, he let it go out of bounds. I'm about to say, I thought he was going to field it for Cash, and we were going to get a break.
That actually hit him off the chest.
Oh.
So he was trying to field it. He completely missed the ball, and it popped out of bounds.
So that's not a penalty on the Boomers.
No.
Cashion will take over wherever they mark that out of bounds. A good break for the Boomers because that was scary.
21-yard line, Tyler.
Wow. Bit of a mental mistake there.
You know, and I also want to kind of touch on something that, I heard you, Tyler, say something about, the blocking. Or maybe it was Dakota, but that was something we need to kind of give credit to the Boomers because the blocking on that possession was much, much better than it was in the first couple possessions.
Yeah, you can't have a 17-play drive like that without the big hog mollies up front doing their job. Acord in the gun for the Wildcats. He's going to fake the pass, the short pass. Now he's just going to take it on a draw, it looked like, and gets maybe a yard or two up the gut. Well, got more than I thought. It looks like about 5 there on first down for Acord.
I wonder if that was a busted play.
I couldn't tell. It looked like maybe a play-action draw, but
he got 3 on the play there.
3, okay.
That's what, to me, it looked like he wanted to hand it off, and there was nobody there, so then he had to try to figure out what he's going to do.
And now a quick pass here to Max Brown on the outside. He breaks the tackle. He's up the sideline. Looks like he's got the first down, and just an athlete is Brown. He is a tall guy, got some size to him, tough to stop. And that is going to be a first down for Cash.
Got to make tackles, guys. That was another one of those where we probably could have brought him down in a short yardage situation, and next thing you know, he's being a first down.
Looks like right about the 33 is where they'll mark that, so 9-yard pass. Now a snap here by Acord. A handoff inside. A great tackle by the Boomers. They plug up Frazee right there at the line of scrimmage.
It was started by, it looks like, I can't get in there.
Is that
no, it was L.J. Mason.
Yeah, I was about to say,
and
LJ.
then Ethan Matt kind of pushes him over, and they kind of finish it together. What a good teammate.
2 D linemen there getting it done.
Good
Loss
teamwork.
of a yard. 2nd and 11 for Cashion. Acord in the gun. Tries to go with the hard count. Now looks back to the sideline. Resets. Got a receiver on each side. He'll take the snap, fake the handoff, and goes with a quick pass out to
Good
Brown this time.
by Denzel Emery.
Better coverage by the Boomers, and the throw a bit behind Brown as well. Brings up a 3rd and 11.
But it's the pressure we're getting. Guys are starting to get into the backfield, and that's what's causing, some of these bad throws.
And now you've got the Boomers forced Cashion into 3rd and 12 here. Acord's going to be the gun by himself. 3 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. So they've empty set on right now. See how the Boomers approach this one. Acord looks back to the sideline. They bring in the pressure. Acord back to pass. He has to step up, avoid the pressure. Now he's going to float a pass here to the near sideline. That's going to be out of bounds. here over to the Boomer bench, just too far, and Woodward will get a 3-and-out there, or well, not 3-and-out, but they will force a punt by the Wildcats.
Hey, good coverage, I think, by Cooper Latal, number 5, as he was coming close to the 40-yard line, 50-yard line. He had his man where I don't think it was going to be a catchable ball. If it was, it's going to be out of bounds. So great coverage there by Cooper Latal.
Yeah, excellent job by the young sophomore there. Now on to punt here for the Wildcats. It will be Seth Gilbert, the senior. Not the longest distance. That one's going to take a bounce. Talen's going to try to track it down. It's inside the 30 here, and he's just going to walk away from it as it will be picked up at the 29-yard line. The Boomers going to start out with some decent field position. And, Eric, just what we were talking about, you got the big, long touchdown drive. Your defense looks fresher. You get the stop, and you get it right back for the offense now to try to put together maybe another long drive.
Yeah, you know, and I say you just keep going with it. You know, again, we're going out there with defense coming back out on the field. Just keep pounding the ball and keep them back on their heels and keep them tired.
With 7:35, surely if you can do it in 9 minutes, if the play calling's good like it was last time for Coach Lugino driving the ball down the field, hopefully we can kind of use all this time to our advantage.
Yeah.
Possibly it's going to have to be the run game that's going to get us there because can't give up too many passing yards.
Douglas in the gun. He'll fake the handoff, take the carry here on the near side. A good open field drive out, not necessarily a tackle, but a drive out there by Jake Branson, the senior edge linebacker, was on Douglas, and it's going to be a loss of 1 for the Boomers on first down.
Yeah, really, I don't see any issue with the play call itself. That was a great job by Douglas to kind of get out there, but the play by the defense, the guys drove him out of bounds. That really is what made that play happen.
Hayden Hilliard, haven't seen him tonight, kind of just sitting kind of alone there on the sidelines. Maybe we could possibly see him get some action in.
We'll see how they manage Ace's workload here. 2nd 11 for the Boomers. Douglas in the gun, Ace with him. Got 2 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. Now Laird goes in motion. They'll flip it to him on the end around. He's got some blocks out in front. Across the 40, 45, now almost up to the 50. It gets chopped down, I think, just before the 50. And that is going to be a first down for the Boomers.
Good little kind of how he cut inside and had some good blockers there to kind of get the first down and a little bit more.
Guys, we haven't seen many opportunities this year where we can do all these different options on offense. You know, it's always been running the ball, trying to make a pass, bootleg it out, but we've been able to move it around doing different things.
Officially a 20-yard gain for Taylor Laird on the little pop pass, if you will, the little flip to him right there. And now we got a timeout by the Boomers with 6:10 to go in the half as Coach Lucien calls that one. So with 6:10 to go, Cashion on top, 14-7 here in the first half. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Widener, and Tyler Riggs with you. 6:10 to go here in the first half. Cashion on top of your Boomers 14-7, but Woodward trying to drive and come up with another answer. Eric over there critiquing himself. Hey, Eric, we all go through it as broadcasters. It's how it is. You get into phrases and words that you just keep saying. Mine was always absolutely, and I've tried to cut that down.
The other night I couldn't sleep, and I pulled it up on Boomer TV and listened to the first quarter, and I just sat there and cried.
The worst. You never do that when you're trying to sleep. Never do it. You'll never go to sleep. 1st and 10 for the Boomers out there on first 48. Douglas under center. Man in motion is boring. Ace Long in the backfield. They'll hand off to him on the counter. Good chip block there on the outside. But Long going to cut it up, get across about the 50 and into Cashion territory. It looks like about a 3-yard gain to the 49. 2nd and 7 upcoming for Woodward. And Dakota, as you're talking about here, you know, when the drive started, he had plenty of time to work with. We saw them capable of that 9-minute drive the last time out. So, you know, really no rush and just make sure you're managing that clock. Coach Lucien got a timeout to work with at least. So if you keep stringing it together, you'll be all right.
I'm really liking the play calls that Coach Lujan is, giving for the Boomers. They've had some really good drives lately with Taylor Laird for the 20-yard, and see what they can get here.
Douglas back to pass here on second down. He's under pressure. He's got to scramble to the near side. Going to flip it forward. His man fell down. Had a receiver out there. Now a flag late. Looked like Ace Long was the one that fell down. We'll see what the penalty is. I'm not quite sure what it's going to be. I mean, there was a receiver in the area, Eric, and his receiver fell down, so it shouldn't be grounding, I would think.
Well, I mean, it looked like he was out of the box too, but it looks like that's what they're maybe talking about is grounding. But
the receiver was there, he fell down, guys.
If it wasn't for the fact that Ace fell down, that would have been a reception.
Yeah, because he was open. It was kind of a flip forward and then wave it off. That's a proper call because, like we said, Ace just fell down. I think maybe the ref didn't see that, and it's tough in the course of play to see that sometimes when you're on that far side. So they'll bring up 3rd down and 7 for the Boomers after the incompletion.
I say you kind of give it to Taylor Laird again, try to get a sweep here. Get some blockers like Ethan, Matt,
5:16 to go in the half after the incompletion clock is stopped. Ball on the Cashion 49, 14-7. Boomers trying to tie this one up. It's going to be Douglas in the gun. Ace Long with him. Receiver to near is Laird. Looks like 2 to the far. Douglas back to pass. He's looking for Laird's going to float one up there. Laird's got to come back for it, and good coverage by Max Brown. That ball is well overthrown, and it'll be 4th and 7 for the Boomers.
A good job by Laird to try to sell it, though. He went up there and made it look like he was not able to go make a play, but the ref recognized it and called it an uncatchable pass.
So Lucas Shirkey on to punt for the Boomers. They'll be punting for the first time tonight. Mentioned Cash Shipley out at the top of the broadcast. Usually been big time for the Boomers.
Speaking about Cash Shipley, his parents, even though he isn't here or isn't playing tonight, his parents still showed up just now, right over here. So
yeah, see him. Support the Boomers.
Always supporting. That's what I like about these parents.
Jamie and Savannah over there. Shout out to them. Punt here by Shirkey. That one, not a bad one. It's going to take a good Boomer roll as Cashion not going to miss with it on the return. And that'll be down with 5 minutes on the clock even here before the half. And, guys, now the issue you run into if you're the Boomers, you got to come up with a stop here because Cashion does get the ball to start the second half as Woodward received.
However, if the defense plays like they did on that last possession, it's not something to worry too much about because if the defense can continue to work, you just kind of let that be and just do the job you're supposed to do and not rush because, again, you got so much time still left in the game, only down a score.
Chance Akeworth in the gun for Cashion. Running back with him is, looks like not Frazee. It looks like Jake Branson, the senior.
17-yard line.
Yep, ball on the 17. 2 to the near, 2 to the far. Excuse me. Quick pass. That's got caught out there on the far side. Tackle broken. It's Kai Gilbert on the reception for Cashion.
Mason's
going to get a good gain. Enough for a first down as they get it's those quick passes just really striking. It's hard when you get athletes in space. It's hard to challenge that quickly.
Yeah, and the Boomers got to still got to do a better job of wrapping them up on those quick passes.
Another quick play here for Cashion. Just a little inside handoff. Branson takes it up the gut. Only about a gain of 1, maybe 2 there. Call it a gain of 1, so ball sitting on the 33 now after the 1-yard run by Branson. Akeworth in the gun. Got a couple of receivers out there on each side. They'll fake the hard count, look back to the sideline. Branson still with them in the backfield. Check with Coach Shackelford. Now they'll call out the change there. Snap taken by Akeworth, handoff inside to Branson. The Boomers on top of him again. Not going to be a lot gained there by Branson. That Boomer defensive line doing some work. Excuse me. That was Frazee who did take the carry.
And Dakota's man Moose getting in there, not over pursuing on the play, and making a great wrap-up tackle.
I mean, that dude, he's a beast. He knows how to play football. All I got is positive things about him.
Negative 1 yard on the carry. 3rd and 10 for Cashion. There, quick pass. That one way too much of a bullet intended for Max Brown from Akeworth. And the Boomers come up with the stop with 3:33 to go in the half. They'll force a 4th and 10 and a punt from the Wildcats.
Not only that, Tyler, you said they have 3:33 left to play. They have 2 timeouts left.
I thought they only had 1, but they're showing 2 on the board, so we'll see.
I think they do only have 1 unless Cashion took one as well and they forgot to take theirs off.
So on the punt now is Seth Gilbert for the Wildcats. Back deep to return is Taylor Laird. Boomers almost got to that punt, but a nice skied kick there by Gilbert. Laird going to call the fair catch right at the 40-yard line. And the Boomers will take over at their own 40 with 3:26 to go here in the first half.
Great job, great call to send almost send the house. So I guess it wasn't everybody, but actually rush the punter because their first punt was kind of an adventure back there.
Yeah.
So we had an opportunity to get back there and make a play. And, if we could have got there just a little bit quicker, I think we would have.
Well, and, to that point, Eric, sometimes, especially in Class A and, below there, when you have a kicker, it's great. When you don't, it can be an adventure week to week. And Cashion, it's kind of one of those spots where it's more the athletes just doing what they can. So, yeah, no, I agree with the rushing the punter there and seeing what we can come up with. Ryan Douglas can be in the gun for the Boomers. Ace Long with them. Got 3 receivers there to the far side. None to the near, a tight end, though, to the near in Luis Corral. Flag as the ball snapped. Douglas under pressure. He's got to scramble out to that far side. It looks like he's going to throw it away. Taylor Laird almost came down with the one-handed catch.
I think he was trying to do a little bit of Odell Beckham Jr. there, Tyler.
What's this penalty going to be? This one came out right as the ball was snapped.
I think probably holding.
I don't know.
No, not
Yeah,
holding. I
maybe.
think that'd
Early
be
for
too
that.
quick.
Yeah.
Illegal formation.
Okay. It was definitely a pre-snap penalty.
Yeah.
Where they let it run. So I think that was one of those situations where Douglas was more trying to throw the ball out of bounds, but it was just close enough for Laird to go up and try to make a play.
So 3:19 to go here in the first half. Going to be 1st and 15 now for the Boomers.
Got some headlights on down here.
Yeah, somebody got to shut those headlights off. Blinding me. I'm not even on the field. 14-7. Ref points it out there. Got a patron that's so Cashion. I kind of like their setup. They've got more of an open end zone here on their scoreboard side. They got 10 things set up, and you got people out of lawn chairs, watching. So got a gentleman in one of the lawn chairs, got up, went to the gentleman in the truck, said, "Hey, turn off those headlights."
It's one of the downside of cars with running headlights. Daylight running headlights now is it's hard to turn it on and stay warm because those headlights come on immediately.
Yes, sir. So back to action. Douglas in the gun. Along with him, got receiver to the near, 3 to the far. Quick pass to the near side. It's Taylor to open, caught. He's going to make a couple moves, get across the 50. That should be enough for the first down. And a nice little pitch and catch there from Douglas to Laird on the slant.
Move the chains.
And those are the types of throws that we saw Douglas struggle with even last week. So he's definitely getting settled in.
16-yard pass there. And the Boomers have 1st and 10 at the Cashion 49. 2:50 and going out on the clock. Be Douglas in the gun, along with him. Receiver to the near is Laird. 3 receivers to the far side. Cashion in tight. Back to pass is Douglas. He's under pressure, steps up, floats one over the middle. Taylor Laird with another great catch. In coverage, Max Brown draped all over him. Didn't matter. Laird comes up with it.
Move the chains.
And we're seeing something we really haven't seen by the Boomers this year. Moving the chains through the air.
Yeah, it's been a struggle for consistency. We've seen some big plays, but to your guys' point, just hadn't been back-to-back like that. Now 18 yards on that pass play, and Douglas and Laird starting to get a little bit of a connection going.
Tyler, bringing up country music here. I like it.
Okay.
I love it, and I want some more
Oh,
of it.
okay.
I'm
I like it.
liking
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good reference. I'll give you that. 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 31. 2 minutes ago in the half. Douglas will be in the gun. 3 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. The nearest is Laird. And now they'll go with the quick pass out to Mason Bourne in the flat. He's got it caught, and he'll get a few yards and get out of bounds, more importantly. So you gain some yards, and you get out of bounds, which is big. Got it, looks like about close to 5, maybe 4 there.
It's going to be 2nd and 4. So we
Okay,
got 6
6
on the carry.
We'll take that.
Or 6 on the pass, excuse me.
And we're moving chains without putting the ball, keeping the ball on the ground. This is only going to continue to open things up for Race to push it up the middle again.
Well, and then the 2-minute offense, Eric, you got to be able to do this. I mean, you've got to be able to do this.
The adrenaline is definitely pumping right now.
Douglas in the gun. 3 receivers to the far, 1 to the near. Laird the nearest. Douglas, punt face. He's going to float one to the far side, looking for man. Has him caught by the Boomers. Is that a touchdown? It is. What a catch. I believe that might have been Mason Bourne. because it was not Talon. Trying to see the number.
See. They're covering him. You know, they're celebrating, folks.
And what a pass from Brian Douglas. A strike and a touchdown. No, excuse me. Carson Medina looks like is who caught that one.
Wow.
Carson Medina back this week, and a big touchdown there for the Boomers as they go for the tie now. Lucas Shirky on here for the extra point with 1:43 to go in the first half.
Confirmed it was Carson Medina.
And the extra point is good, and the Boomers have tied it at 14. And a beautiful pitch and catch. Medina high points in that one. And Eric, you talked about a second ago, Douglas starting to look more comfortable. And boy, that throw was on the money.
Well, one thing that I noticed last week that Douglas was doing almost every time is when he was dropping back. He was backpedaling, you know, almost 10 yards. Now he's dropping back. He's getting set. You know, he's not throwing off his back feet. You know, and even that time he made that little pump fake at the first, which created just enough separation as he got the ball up there. It allowed his receiver to get the position he needed to make the catch.
And a 25-yard touchdown pass, official.
I think this defense, and I think it's going to be pumped. I think they're going to be excited. To be honest, I can't remember when Woodward was tied this close in a game last, but, you know, I'm just glad that they got it tied up. I think they can really improve right here on this defense.
That they can. And, I mean, last week we came close, but it wasn't quite right on the tie.
They got 1:43 to work with, but Boomer defense has been knocking on the door 2 times in a row, Tyler. So hopefully we can see a third to shut them out.
Doing some math in my head. So 1:43, I believe, or close to that, on the official time of drive, and there's 1:43 on the clock, so they almost halved it, if you will. Good little 2-minute offense drive by the Boomers. And on the kickoff here, it'll be Lucas Shirky again, targeting it to the sideline. This time it's going to die, and they have to field it. Max Brown will pick it up, and he returns it for a few yards. And Cashion will take over with 1:38 to go here in the first half. Officially a 5-play, 60-yard drive for the Boomers on that last possession. Be first and 10 for Cashion at their own 32. 1:38 to go in the first half.
And I think Carson Medina kind of has a little bit of confidence because he hasn't had a touchdown catch in quite some time.
Acord in the gun. He'll fake the handoff. He's looking the pass. He's going to take a shot down the far sideline, looking for Max Brown, and it's caught. He beat the double coverage. Max Brown with a field-flipping catch. Goes from the 32 all the way into Boomer territory near the 20.
Yeah, really, he had made a heck of a throw to get that downfield and hit the window between hit the receiver in the window between the quarterback and the safety.
They mark it at the 23. And now, quick play here from Cashion. Keeper inside by Accord. He breaks some tackles, has a hole. Taylor Laird tries to tackle him in the open field and gets enough of them to get him down. And another first down quick by Cashion, and in just a few seconds, 25 seconds, they've gone from their own 32 up to the Boomer, looks like 11, and a timeout here by Cashion. We'll keep it right here. And, fellas, you got to make a stand. You can't allow this score to hit here.
This is probably a good timeout right here by the Boomers to, you know, recognize the fact that, you know, we got to do something to kind of slow this down. You know, it's not basketball. You know, in basketball you do that all the time to slow the offense down. But, you know, Cashion does. They use that hurry-up offense. So if you can slow them down and get them out of rhythm just a little bit, that plays in your favor.
Shout out to my mom. Thanks for listening. She just texted me. Always good when you get to hear your son commentate.
You know, your mom gives you a shout. Mine calls in to complain about my news on K101. I'm just, yeah, it's getting older is not fun.
One of these days that's going to happen when I start working.
If.
They're saying when you get a real job.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No
Parents
joke.
been knocking at me door to get one, and I'm trying.
He's trying. So Cashion has first and 10 at their own 11.
Hey, I'm the oldest one in this broadcast, so.
And you're not old, Eric. You're not old.
What are you, 25, 26?
I feel it.
Oh, you're
I
trying
wish.
to butter him up. Eric would be sprinting down these sidelines if he was 25 again. First and 10 for Cashion at the Boomer 11. Accord in the gun. He'll take the snap. Drops back to pass. Under pressure, just has thrown away. Now, there's no receiver in the area, and he did get out of the tackle box. The ball got back to the line of scrimmage,
I
but
think they're talking about that right now.
yeah, because there was nobody in the area, and despite it getting back to the line of scrimmage, yep, there it is. So intentional grounding, the right call there. Acorn just, you didn't get out of the tackle box.
And I was kind of not so happy at that play, not seeing a flag there. I'm kind of glad that they decided to throw a flag. Coach Lujan is too.
Well, and it should have been there should have been a hold on the play as well, but you know we'll take any kind of flag.
So it's going to be a loss and down for Cashion, and it will back him up to the 17, it looks like. So second and looks like about, oh wait, no, now they're backing up further, I think. There they go. Okay, they're going it from the spot of the intentional grounding. So are they spotting the intentional grounding at the 16 and they're going back here? Do I have that correct?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the call is on that.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out here. It looks like they're going to back it up further.
I need to send my text to Jason Harrison.
Yes, he's over here in the stands. We just walk over and talk to him. He's right here in the stands. We are right next to the stands.
Let's go grab him for a quick interview, Tyler.
And they're going to call it an 11-yard penalty, essentially, because it was at the 11, now back up to the 22. Be a cord in the gun on second down. He's back to pass, under pressure again. He's got to step up. Sidearm one's in there. It's complete to Max Brown over the middle, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Are you kidding me? What a sidearm in there to Max Brown, and when you need a play, Brown's going to answer.
That was a heck of a throw. Sidearm, that was really putting the only place that could be caught by the receiver to make that happen.
Was he pretty fast on the run down there?
Well, I mean, he was pretty quick on the run, but he made that catch at about the 5, and all the momentum for both him and the defender and the ball and was all moving in the same direction. So
Luis Corral is the injured boomer on the field.
Yeah, down after the play. They're checking him out here. So with 58 seconds to go in the first half, Cashion comes up with a big answer. Just took 40 seconds on that drive. Got some big plays. 55-yarder start, pass to Max Brown. Then had a 12-yard run, backed him up on 11-yard penalty, and then a 22-yard touchdown pass. That's a 4-play drive covering 68 yards there. And as mentioned, just 40 seconds off the clock. Good news is Boomers will have another chance, and that pass game was working on the last drive. And they do get Luis Corral up. So good to see that. So come back to the sideline.
Yeah, I think this might be a wrist injury after the play.
That's what he's holding, yeah.
Really
that play he kind of came out and his wrist was pretty limp. So
currently 22-14, Cashion on top, and they'll be on here for the extra point. It'll be Christensen, the junior, Chandler Christensen. Snap, ball is down, kick is up, and that one is good. So it'll be 21-7. Wildcats on top as we go back and forth in this first half. Woodward, another chance before the half, try to get some points. I mentioned Cashion will receive to start the second half, so you'd like to try to find an answer if you could, just to get things back even. Not the most important, but still, with what we saw in the last drive, Dakota, I think it's possible. I mean, Ryan Douglas was really slinging it.
To be honest, I think this is one of the best football games that the Boomers have played offensively and defensively. Probably, maybe not first half, but I'm loving what the defense is doing, but I'm really loving what Ryan Douglas is showing out on the field. Throwing a deep ball to Carson Medina for a touchdown, pretty impressive.
I agree on the offense. Defense, as we talked about, got to clean up those big plays. Max Brown is terrorizing the Boomers right now through the air in terms of at that receiver spot.
We did stop Cashion. We did have a lot of momentum after that second touchdown. So, loving to see that, but also got to get back on the other side of the ball and find something here for the Boomers with 58 seconds to go.
Brown almost to 100 yards receiving already in this first half.
He is definitely one of the players to watch on defensively and offensively. As we have seen, he has an interception, I think, as well with, 2 touchdowns?
A touchdown, yep. And the kickoff here by Chandler Christensen, going to carry out of bounds. So that's going to help Woodward quite a bit. You set up with some solid field position to start this drive with 58 seconds to go in the half. Now you got to see if you can take advantage of it. I have it at their own 35 here. So you got 65 yards to go in 58 seconds. See if they can do it. Yeah, A-Cord right now for Cashion, 2. Oh, Coach Lucian wants the re-kick. He says, no, I don't want the penalty. I want the re-kick. And this is interesting, Eric, because, you know, Christensen not the strongest kicker. So maybe Lucian's thinking, hey, if I get a return here, it's going to benefit me more than starting at the 35.
And we've already seen this game where there's been some good returns. One that was called back because of, I believe,
penalty,
what was a holding. So might as well. You're going to have to back. I think they even have to kick.
Yeah, that you get
back,
the penalty, so they got to kick further back, meaning you're going to return this from probably starting out around your own 20 to begin with. And we know Christensen's not booting them deep right now. So you're going to have some room to work with.
Really wish they would have stuck Denzel Embry out there on the kickoff. Unfortunately, we do not see him out there.
Yeah, I believe, who's that? Is that Medina out here with Laird?
Yeah.
Diaz has some good returns, though.
They do have Hayden Hillier out there.
Yeah, we got him a bit short, more up towards about the 40. So Christensen's going to tee this off from about zone 30. Looks like.
I think about the head game this makes for the kicker too.
Yeah.
He thought he was done. All of a sudden he's back out here having to try it again.
This time gets a decent boot into it. It's going to take a short bounce. Laird backed up for it. He's going to fill it on a hop at the 20. Makes a man miss up to the 25. Now being tracked down, and he's going to host the Wildcats beside him. That time there's some great kick coverage by Cashion, and Woodward essentially loses 8 yards, if you will, from where they would have started if they would just kept the 35. They'll start at, it looks like, their own 27, 28.
I'm down here trying to help the refs with face mask call, but I don't blame Coach Lucian for
no,
going for
I
that.
don't blame him either. Yeah, I like it.
That's a nice gamble, with only 50 seconds left in the half, gives you a little bit, hopefully get you a little bit closer. So.
Yeah, no, I don't mind the trade-off. It's just that time Cashion played the kick coverage well. So, yeah, tip the cap there. First and 10 for the Boomers out there on 28. Douglas going to be the gun. 3 receivers to the far, 1 to the near. The nearest is Laird. Long in the backfield with Douglas. Take the snap. He's going to roll out to the far side. Now he's going to fire on the run. He's got a man open. It's Mason Bourne caught at the 45, now near the 50, but he's going to be drugged down before the 50. A good play there. They lost Mason Bourne, and he just made a nice, simple catch. And it's a first down by the Boomers.
We got to go fast here, Tyler, if we want to score a touchdown.
And they're hurrying it up. That one looks like it'll be up to the 47, so a 19-yard pass and a spike by Douglas now to stop the clock with 33 seconds to go.
I like the play call too. Like most of our passes are either short passes or we're going deep, and all of a sudden here we kind of poke it in the middle of the zone in the intermediate range.
Yeah, and a good throw on the run by Douglas as well. That one was pretty solid. Hit Bourne in stride. So
I think one thing we can all three say in this broadcast is we're catching balls tonight, guys.
Amen.
Yeah, have not seen any drops. That's a great point, Dakota.
And there's the broadcaster gene.
Yeah. Second and 10 for the Boomers. Douglas in the gun. 3 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. Douglas this time going to roll to the near side. Step up, a little side arm. He's got Taylor Laird open, and Laird going to get out of bounds, and plenty for the first down there. Beautiful play call.
If I'm not mistaken, Eric, was it a tip pass that he caught?
Honestly, I couldn't tell. It did look a little wobbly, so I don't know if it was a tip pass or it kind of slipped out of his hand right before he threw it. But, he's kind of got some Mahomes action going on out there, making guys miss and slipping in there.
And, Eric, that's, that skill to make guys miss in the pocket is becoming more and more prevalent nowadays. And now we got rest officials time, I believe.
The clock was still going.
Clock was still going
and
when it should have been
Coach
stopped.
Lucian was mad that he wasn't getting a timeout, so he wants some seconds put back on the board.
Well, Laird got out of bounds, so the clock needs to be added time if that's the case.
Should have been about 28 seconds or 38 seconds, something like that.
And it's at 14 right now. That play started with 33, so I imagine you're looking at probably in the 20-some second range here. They'll talk about it. Yeah, Laird got out of bounds clearly. There was no debate there.
Yeah, I think it was about 27 seconds.
So they'll discuss it and talk about it here. But still, though, we're talking about Douglas and not only the movement in the pocket, Eric, but also the ability to throw from different slots, they call it. Not a true kind of over-the-top release. Sometimes you got to side arm. You got to, contort your body. And Douglas has shown the ability to do that pretty well early on here.
Yeah, and he's really stepped up, in this he's going up against a much better offense overall, and he's playing up to Cashion's level.
Yeah.
So that's something to see, especially out of a guy who was just kind of thrown in there a couple weeks ago. You know, starting to feel comfortable. He's competing for QB1 next year.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yep.
why not? You know, for him, this is a great opportunity to make a statement.
And they still haven't fixed the clock, so the refs are discussing that now, I believe, because once again, Laird was out of bounds. You have got to fix the clock here. They still got 14 seconds on it. And let's see what they do.
Probably going to add 10 seconds is my guess.
Yeah, I think you're right in the range. It should be in that 20, close to that 25-second bracket. Let's see how they fix it.
I wouldn't be surprised for just 10 seconds. 16.
Oh, 16. Ooh, that's rough. That is rough. Okay. So, 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 27. 16 on the clock. Boomers have no timeouts. Douglas back to pass. A quick out there to the far side to Bourne. You got to get out of bounds, kid. And he will. 10 seconds on the
they
clock.
keep
keeping
saying
him lying.
going because he.
Wow. They're keeping the clock rolling. Okay. So now the Boomers try and go quick. 3 seconds. I don't know if they'll get it off here. Douglas got the spike with maybe a second on the clock. Coach Lucian is saying 1 second on the clock. Let's see what they call it. We do, that is not us. I'm just letting you know. We are not responsible for what the Boomer crowd may say. So apologies for anything you hear there. And they do give them 1 second on the clock, so Woodward will have a second and about 12, they'll call it, with 1 second to go in the half.
I think we're going to have a kick here. Shirky's taking off his gloves.
And this one's a bit deep for Lucas's range, but we know he's got, he's a soccer kid. He's got a foot.
I'm no doubt in my mind that Lucas Shirky will smoke this kick.
The wind's at least neutral.
One benefit is the wind is calm right now.
And there's the kick. That one got all of it. Is it going to be good? No, it is short. A good attempt, though. I can't blame him. That one comes up just a bit short, and we go into the halftime. Cashion on top over Woodward, 21-14. We'll step aside for a break. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. If you're not on there, you can also stream it on Boomer TV. Check that one out. We've got about 5 minutes and change left here in the halftime. Woodward trails Cashion 21-14 at the break. Took a look at some scores from around the tri-state there before the break. Some interesting results. And to add to that, check out Friday Night Quick Scores tomorrow night on K101. We'll have the full coverage with CJ Montgomery. I believe CJ almost confirmed that Dr. Carl Newton will be in town as well to help us out, so that'll be cool. I'll be there as well since Woodward will be done with their game. I'll be in studio to help out with that, so ought to be a lot of fun. You can check out tomorrow. Eric's like, nah, I'm good. I'm done.
I'll be in Wichita tomorrow.
But
night.
Eric, we got free food.
Oh, hey, you know what?
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Dakota said, "Hold on, I'm on my way."
I gotta go watch 12U softball in
Hey,
Wichita
Tyler,
tomorrow.
Okay, that's more important. I'll give you that one.
Do you have any invitations to that thing by chance?
Maybe not for you.
Oh, man.
No, I'm kidding.
I'll
I'm kidding.
just walk up in there, you know.
Yeah, we couldn't stop you. We couldn't stop you, I guess, technically. But, yeah, check that out tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Game night begins at 6, kind of sits the table, if you will, and then the full-fledged quick scores coverage from 7 to 10, and fifth quarter after that until midnight.
Hey, Dakota, if you go up there and take your food, they're not going to pay you for your games. So
Hey,
That's going to be his payment, yeah. There you go. It's your option right
You
there.
know what? No comment, you know. I'm just having a great time. Boomer's down by 7.
for the love of the game, or for the love of the radio game, I should say.
That's right. That's right. Love of the biz. Did want to talk about, of course, not only quick scores, but upcoming Oklahoma State going to be taking on Tejas, Texas. They're in Stillwater on Saturday at 2:30. Homecoming in Stillwater. CJ's been talking about it all week. Greatest homecoming in America. And
it is.
Oklahoma State going in that one about a touchdown underdog to Texas because I believe, from what CJ had heard from his inside sources, that Spencer Sanders may be up in the air as a game-time decision going into that one. So I think that's kind of why you see Texas favored by 7. But to Texas' credit, they've really started to pick it back up once Quinn Ewers has got back in that lineup at quarterback.
And that's the biggest thing is Ewers. He's they're a completely different team with Ewers in at quarterback, and there's been times where the Sooners. Whoa, Lord help me! Pray for me real quick.
I mean,
there's been some times where the Cowboys have struggled in the secondary. So that's something we got to watch this Saturday, and hopefully I'm gonna get on my knees. I'm gonna pray that Spencer Sanders is there. But I heard this week somebody talking about that they probably gave him a shot.
Yeah,
before
CJ
the
was
game.
saying that,
Probably gave him a shot before the game, and then it kind of wore off as the game went on.
And you could tell in the second half.
Yeah, it was completely different for him. So.
And at that point, you don't want to potentially reshoot up the guy because there could be issues medically there, type of deal. So he got through it. He's a tough guy. I'll give him that. Sanders is definitely a tough one. But on the Sooner side of things,
I mean,
they are on bye week this week, so they get to sit at home, chill, rest, and they got to go to Ames to take on.
I'm just glad
the Cyclones
that Toby Rowland got to say, "You can unhitch the wagon, put the ponies in the ball."
It was a drought there. It was a drought.
It was. It was a good game. I liked it.
They took down the Jayhawks 52-42, knocked the Jayhawks out of the top 25.
Mason Boring was at the game. He was wearing a blue T-shirt.
Really, Mason? Come on.
I know. I told him.
Is he a Kansas fan?
He said rock chalk, and I just lost it.
What? Mason, we're going to have to talk to Mason after the game about that one.
Hey, the one person we need to talk to is talk to Hunter Harrison. He got to go to a Seattle Seahawks game this weekend.
Yes, Jason.
He was rooting for the Cardinals, but unfortunately they didn't get the W.
But he said it was a really cool experience up there.
That stadium specifically in Seattle, that's an interesting environment. Get to be in the 12th man, even if you're not necessarily rooting for the team, if you will.
He got a jersey, too.
Nice. Getting to rocket. But as mentioned, as I was talking about the Sooners there, they will await the Cyclones next week in Ames. Be a tough road test there. But they get to be on a bye week and just kind of chill and watch and see how their rivals do facing off against one another. So teams starting to get back out of the locker room, cashing out first. Woodward still making their way, seeing some of the coaches return here. So got a couple of minutes. We will step aside for our final break of the Dairy Queen halftime show. And on the other side, we will have the kickoff, the second half, upcoming here for the Cashion Wildcats and your Woodward Boomers. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, and Tyler Riggs with you as we are getting ready to come out of the break. The halftime here, Cashion on top 21-14 over the Boomers. And guys, at this point, of course, take a look at some of the keys for the second half. I'd say to start out offensively, if you could keep that balance going that we saw towards the end of the first half, that would be nice to be able to have that and mix up not only a solid drive, but able to get some of those big chunk plays. What are some of the keys you guys think you want to see in the second half?
I really want to see Ryan Douglas continue to run the ball. I mean, when he hasn't had the opportunity to maybe get it to Talon, maybe get it to Carson Medina, he's ran the ball. When he's ran the ball,
yeah.
He's had those opportunities to kind of cut inside, kind of slide around, but sometimes it's good, and sometimes he gets stopped right at the line.
Sure, but he's running strong. He's lowering that shoulder. Eric, what about you?
One thing I'd like to see is figure out how to get Hunter Harrison into the game on the defensive side. That's a name we haven't called a lot on the defensive side.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goes back to probably the way he's been playing, and I think Cashion's doing a good job of trying to keep the ball away from him. But that's just something that the Boomers really need. They need that spark on defense to really solidify things and kind of get some of that momentum back when the defense is out there on the field.
And to that point, Eric, to add on to that, Cashion's gone quick on a lot of those passes. They've loaded up just a couple times, but for the most part, just essentially quick hits, So when you've got that, it really nullifies maybe some of that Boomer rush that we've seen. Still, though, Woodward's got close to getting home a couple times. You got to give the nod to Chance Acord for Cashion of escaping that pressure, which some of you mentioned quite a few times in that first half.
Yeah, and I feel like he's done a lot. He's done a lot to help Brown out and making that play and moving around in the backfield to make things happen.
And Shirky will be on for the kickoff here for the Boomers as we get underway in the second half. Cashion deep to receive. Shirky going with a targeted kick, but Max Brown is going to have it for the Wildcats. He'll bring it out now. The return gets some decent yards. It gets chopped down by a Boomer there. Looks like that may have been Cooper Latal that chopped him down. And Cashion will take over 1st and 10 as the second half is underway.
Kind of on the same note that I made, the defense, they've got to do something here to, really kind of get the momentum swung completely back in their direction moving forward.
And Cashion will have it at their own 35. Acord will be in the gun. In the backfield with him is Branson, the running back. Got two receivers to the far, or to the near, one to the far. The far is Brown. And now a quick pass is Cooper Frazee, who's been the running back. He's got the catch on the out route, takes it out of bounds for a decent gain. Not a first down, but about 4 yards, maybe 5 there on first for Cashion.
Looks like it was Carson Medina who kind of made first contact right then and there and pushed him out of bounds.
So 2nd and 4, so again, 6th they'll call it, upcoming for the Cats. Acord the gun. He'll take the snap, hand off inside. I believe that's Branson taking that one. It is. And the Boomer defensive line all over him as Ethan Matt in there. Looks like
Cason
Bourne in there as well from the linebacker spot.
Luis Corral.
And it's good to see Luis back out there. We saw him with the wrist injury before the end of the first half. Apparently he is good to go. So a 3rd and short coming up for Cash, about 3rd and 3. Marked at about a yard. Acord with the snap. He'll look out to the flat there. Quick pass to Max Brown. He's got it. Turns it upfield. Did he get the first down? Oh, kept his feet somehow. Did the ball come out?
Yeah,
the ball came out. The Boomers have it, I believe. Let's see.
Hunter Harrison.
And Hunter Harrison for it. And it is Boomer ball, so they get the turnover. A big turnover there by the Boomers, and exactly what you're calling for here.
Yeah, I'm not sure who knocked it out. It wasn't Hunter that knocked it out, but Hunter was over there in on the play. And again, that's what we talked about. What he does is he's all over the field. He has a knack for where the ball's at. And the fact that he was out there in on the play when the ball popped out, he was able to jump on it.
And just like you were saying, Eric, we haven't mentioned Hunter Harrison tonight. And when you mentioned it, what happened the next play is Hunter Harrison creates a little something, and the Boomers get the ball back.
So I'm the opposite of broadcaster jinx. That's what you're saying.
The reverse jinx. Yeah,
hey,
there you go.
Just keep on doing it,
Except I haven't seen a Boomer win yet. So I don't know which way we're going to look at this. So
Woodward will take over 1st and 10 at the Cashion 47. Under the center will be Ryan Douglas. In the backfield is Ace Long. They'll hand it off to him inside. Ace trying to keep the feet going forward. Maybe got just a couple, though. Well read by the Cashion defense, and it'll be 2nd and about 9 for the Boomers.
But we have talked. We talked about this year is the lack of takeaways by the Boomers.
Yeah.
So the fact that we needed something big on defense to start the second half, and they get a takeaway, that's only icing on the cake.
And it's a huge confidence boost. It goes back to recapturing that momentum you had there at the end of the half. Sure, you let the score go in, but you come out and get that instant stop, and now you give your offense a short field and a chance to do something. 10:15 to go in the third quarter. Woodward will be set up 2nd and 8 at the Cashion 45.
I think we may see Talon get the ball here.
Under center is Douglas. They'll snap, handoff inside to Ace Long. The upback was Ethan Madden. A nice run up the gut by Ace Long. He'll have the first down. Good hole opened up by that offensive line, and Ace got those feet moving.
I'd rather take the first down than, pass out to Talon. Maybe gets just a couple of yards.
Fair enough, Dakota. Fair enough.
And guys, this is the Cashion defense looks like the Boomer defense did early in that first quarter. Kind of freak. I'd say freaking out a little bit, but they're back on their heels. They don't have a lot of fire to them.
10-yard run by Ace Long officially. Ball at the 35 now, 1st and 10. Douglas will be under center. Got the outbacks with him there. Ace in the backfield. They'll pitch it out to Ace here to the near side. Good lead block by Ethan Matt. Ace gets the corner, and he'll get out of bounds for another nice gain. Going to be, it looks like maybe near the 6. Can't quite tell yet. Going to be pretty close to 2nd and short. Got a gain of 9.
Yeah, wow. And if you kind of take a look back at what happened in the first quarter, we get the ball, we fumble it.
Yeah.
They get the ball, they fumble it.
So kind of a reverse is what you're saying.
I'm thinking that maybe this may be good here for the Boomers.
Well, if you keep pounding away like this, ball at the 25 now for the Boomers. Cashion 25. Douglas can be under center. Ace Long in the backfield, a receiver each side. Ethan Matt, the upback, flanked off the left side of Douglas. And they'll run the counter. Ace trying to find some room, and that time Cashion all over the counter. The big defensive end, Jackson Vandriff, in there, along with a couple other Wildcats to drop Ace for about maybe a loss of a 1 there. Sits up 3rd and 2.
And that's like I said, at halftime those are the few plays that the Boomers really have struggled with. Is those counter plays. You still got to keep running them because that is a play that has worked well for us all year.
I was about to say, yeah, it's been
so
successful.
you got to keep running them and see what happens. But again, that's a hard thing to do against these defensive ends of Cashion.
3rd and short now for the Boomers. Douglas can be under center. Ace in the backfield. Up back is Matt. Douglas going to drop back the pass. He's got a man on a quick slant. I believe that was complete. It was. That'll be a first down for the Woodward Boomers. And Mason Bourne, a great catch right there.
That was a heck of a catch by Bourne. And I was worried that from my angle, because I had a perfect angle from where Douglas threw that to Bourne, that I thought somebody was going to knock it down. And in fact, I thought somebody did knock it down. All of a sudden, they signaled that he made the catch.
We're making catches still, guys. That's good.
7-yard pass play there. Sets up 1st and 10 for the Boomers at the Cashion 18. Douglas under center, hands off inside to Long. Long makes a cut. He's breaking some tackles. He's rumbling. He's taken down finally, but not before, I believe, another first down for the Boomers. They'll set up 1st and goal.
I'm not sure who made the tackle for Cashion, but that was a touchdown-saving tackle because I thought he was on his way into the end zone.
I think it's going to be right at the 2 or 3 maybe.
Let's see where they
can't tell. Yep, the 3-yard
line. 15-yard run by Ace Long, and the Boomers threatening to tie this one up with 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter if they could punch this in.
I say give it to Moose. Just let him go wild.
Ace going to be in the backfield. He'll take the handoff and easily in, barely touched. Ace Long on the score, and Woodward has now got a chance to tie it at 21 after putting up 6 on the board.
That's what I like to see right there. Got a really good block there, too, for him to just an easy way into the end zone. That's what we like to see from our offensive line.
Continuing to open those holes. We talked about him at the half, doing some great work. So extra point now attempt here by Lucas Shirky. He's on for it. And that is good. The Boomers have tied it up 21-all with 7:04 to go in the third quarter against the Wildcats. We'll step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you. And this Boomer sideline firing up right now as they have tied it at 21 with 7:04 to go in the third quarter. And Eric, they took advantage of the turnover, which is not only, we've been wanting them to get more turnovers, but they capitalized on that, which is a huge thing.
Right, capitalizing on mistakes. And I'm sitting here down here thinking back about Weatherford and some of those games. If we were able to do this, against Weatherford, against Cash, I think those games will be completely different. We look like a much more balanced team than we have all year.
Lucas Shirkey on for the kickoff here for the Boomers. A shorter one target to Max Brown. He'll have a chance to return it. He's across the field there, cuts it up. Has a couple blockers in front of him, but the Boomers will drag him down. Not before a decent little return, and Cashion will take back over 1st and 10 with 6:55 to go in the third quarter. Let's see how the Boomers respond now.
They're going to place the ball right on the 40-yard line.
So right on the 40. Thank you, Mr. Dakota. It's tough to see what the angle we're at. You're not high up now, so that's kind of the one change thing. We're essentially sideline, which is it's kind of fun, but that's the only downside. 1st and 10 for Cashion. Acord in the gun, empty set. He's looking to pass. He's under pressure. L.J. Mason almost got him. He got him away, but a couple Boomers get him in the backfield to finish it off. A sack there by that Boomer front 7.
And I'm gonna say this: Hunter Harrison was not in the play, but Hunter Harrison helped create the play. Great job of him dropping back in coverage and not allowing an open receiver.
A 10-yard sack. Looked like a couple Boomers on the sack. Couldn't quite get it on who it was, but credit to L.J. Mason was starting that in terms of getting the pressure because he almost got it forward by himself.
Tyler, it made me nervous. I thought he was going to slip away and get about 10, 20 yards there, but thankfully Boomer defense wrapped him up.
2nd and 20. Acord back to pass again. He's looking under pressure again. L.J. Mason on him, steps up, trying to get away, and a Boomer drags him down the open field a couple, and another nice containment by Woodward. Creates another, essentially a sack, but I think he got maybe a couple. I saw Luis Crowell on the play, maybe Mason Bourne as well. And just a couple gained there by Acord. And again, Eric, great coverage by the Boomer secondary.
Yeah, the secondary is the one who, like you talked about, is a coverage sack, but great job by the defensive ends also to go wide, and not allow him to escape.
Acord on 3rd and long, back to pass. He's under pressure, and they're going to get him again. Sacks by the Boomers, almost consecutive. Luis Crown, I believe. Casey Bourne, the young sophomore linebacker, getting in and getting home.
And guys, we haven't seen very many sacks this year, and all of a sudden here we've basically had 3 in a row.
And so that will force a quick 3 and out for Cashion. And on to punt will be Seth Gilbert.
Yeah.
The senior. Deep to return is Laird. I say deep, he's standing about his own 50. The Boomers try to pressure that a bit. Bit of a wobbler by Gilbert. Laird just going to let it go, and that took a bad bounce for Cashion. Essentially stopped dead. The Boomers going to start out with really good field position, taking over essentially about their own 43-yard line.
Smart move by Laird to kind of let it just go because, you didn't see what the ball was going to do, obviously, before it bounces, but great idea. Kind of just let it do its own thing.
Well, no need to force it, right? You are going to get in good field position. No need to risk it and come up with a silly play.
I doubt that it was going to bounce all the way to the 25-yard line either, but smart play by Laird. Good field position for the Boomers.
They will take over at their own 44 with 5:04 to go in the third quarter.
Got to get 56 yards to the end zone. All tied up 21 apiece, Tyler.
Went 7 plays, 47 on their last drive to tie it up.
Here's a call. I wouldn't mind seeing the Boomers try to go over the top.
Sudden change, they call it. Douglas under center. He'll hand off inside to Ace Long. Ace going to get up the gut into a host of Boomers and Wildcats. Maybe got a couple there.
Probably about 2nd and 7.
Yeah, maybe got to the 50. That'd be more than
2nd and 8.
No, you're right. It's less than what I was thinking.
That's 2nd and 7.
Yep, 2nd and 7 at the 47.
And we talked about the way Ace runs on that play right there. He got hit and kind of rolled and kept his feet moving for an extra 3 yards.
Came up a bit slow, but he did get up, and he's still out there. Young freshman carrying a big load for the Boomers. Douglas going to be under center. 2 receivers to the near, 1 to the far. Long in the backfield. Snap. Handoff inside to Long. They're trying to run that counter play, and it's just nothing doing. Cashion has been exceptional. Probably the best team we've seen so far this season at stopping that counter play. And I don't know if he maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd and 7 for Woodward.
Like to see maybe if Douglas can pump fake it and get a block, or maybe he can run it for 7 yards.
Well, we've seen a couple of quick slant passes as well. It's been open, so maybe you go there with either Laird or Medina. Boynes had a good catch on one.
Either way, the Boomer offense is, they're tiptoeing up, and they're making some good plays as well as the defense. Great defensive stop earlier, Tyler.
3:40 to go in the third quarter. Boomers have it 3rd and 7, tied at 21. Douglas in the gun. Couple receivers on the near one to the far. Douglas back to pass, goes with a quick pass intended for Lucas Shirkey, but a bit high and behind him. They'll bring up a 4th down for Woodward.
I wonder if that was a little bit miscommunication because that ball looked like he was trying to. He thought Shirkey was going to go up the sideline. Shirkey cut back in, and that's where that bad pass was made.
And we've seen a couple of those miscommunications, unfortunately. And I don't know how open it would have been if Shirkey cut up to the sideline, but to your point, Eric, maybe just what it was there. It was a heater by Douglas for sure. He put some zip on it. Shirkey is back to punt here. And puts a boot into it. Solid looking punt. And a good bounce, a Boomer bounce on this one. It's going to be fielded and downed inside the 20. And Cashion will take back over 1st and 10 with 3:23 to go in the third quarter.
Another one of those Shirkey punts where he puts it inside the 20.
12-yard line.
We'll take that.
That is good for the defense.
Cashion will take over at their own 12. And yeah, that defense playing with confidence right now. See if they could keep them pinned down and you play the field position battle.
With them being kind of pinned back and the defense did last time, if they could push him back that much, that's going to be impressive.
In the gun, Acord will take the snap, and he's going to go down quickly in the backfield, trying to fake the handoff, but the Boomers had 3 men back there.
That's going to be almost inside the 5. That has to be. Let's see what they mark it here.
That's why, guys, I say pin their ears, pin the Boomer ears back and go.
Yeah, bring that pressure, no doubt.
The 6-yard line, Tyler. 7-yard loss on the play.
Jeez, well, it should be 6 because you're at the 12. So 2nd and 16, we'll call it. Acord in the gun. Receiver on each side. Got to run back in the backfield with him. He'll take the snap. He'll fake the handoff, looking to pass. Under pressure, and the Boomers hit him. Did they get the safety, or is it going to be? They do. It's a safety. That Boomer defense has ripped off 4 sacks now in the last 2 drives. Who was in on it, Eric? I couldn't catch it.
Honestly,
it's Ethan. It's Moose.
I know Moose was in on it. Really, it was the interior of that defensive line that was able to get that push, and that's what they've been doing. The past 2 possessions is getting that push and getting back there to the quarterback.
Let's see who they hype up on the sideline here.
And Eric, like you said, they are pinning their ears back, and you love to see that aggressiveness.
It's Ethan Matt. He just got a headbutt from Coach Warner.
I think Ethan Matt will get a headbutt every time he comes to the sideline.
No matter if it's him or not.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I know Hunter was making a push in there.
Yeah.
And, there's been guys all over the place. And, again, that's what the momentum does for you. And Cashion looks like they're playing scared. They honestly look like the Boomers did on those first 2. Really, the second possession, not the first possession, the second possession.
And now you get a chance to get the ball back as well and, drain some more of that clock. You've got the lead now. And you could just be not necessarily conservative with the play call, Eric, but you could go back to your bread and butter, that run game, and, maybe mix in a couple of those open looks pass-wise.
Yeah, I say we continue to try to do what we were doing in the second quarter.
Yeah.
We go back to the bread and butter. We had that 17-yard play, but hey, let's get Douglas throwing the ball a little bit. Continue to give Ryan that confidence he needs, especially going into Elk City and Clinton.
I wonder who's getting more of a workout, the football team or the dance team, because the dance team has done a lot of kicks tonight.
Hey, that's good because that means the Boomers are doing well.
One time they had to do 79 kicks.
Jeez. And part of the safety here too is that Christensen is going to be kicking this deep from his own territory. Tanny Laird's almost near his own about 40 to receive this one. And Christensen going to kick it away to the sideline.
Hit a cheerleader.
He hit a cheerleader. I think she almost made the catch, though. Good awareness. Now, Eric does.
I think they're going to he's going to call for a re-kick again.
Why not? Because you've gotten backed up so deep. I mean, force him to try to keep it in bounds.
That's ugly for Cashion.
It's bad, yeah, because you're backed up. Where are they kicking this from now?
We're going out there in offense now.
Okay. We'll take the kick then. Because
And
I guess
I think because the ball didn't even get to the 35,
you'll take it where it went out of
you
bounds.
take it where it went out of bounds. So.
Yep. Yep. Nope, fair point. So the Boomers are going to have it near midfield as a result of that. As Cashion was ready to re-kick, and they realized, oh, we're not re-kicking.
And honestly, I hate to say this, but that's a pretty bad kick. Whenever the ball looks like it went out of bounds, where they're going to mark it about the. So it looked like it was probably about the 46 where it went out of bounds.
In Cashion territory. So Woodward will start in Cashion territory here with 2:34 to go in the third. At, like you said, Eric, the Cashion 46, it looks like. 47 is what they call it, so close enough. Still, another short field to work with. You love to see it. Woodward hasn't started deep in their own territory since, it looks like.
Well, okay. Here, what we got here is Jason Harrison was telling the ref that the ball is supposed to be on the 45-yard line because a 25-yard penalty is supposed to be initiated.
I see.
So I
Now
guess
they're
that he saw
discussing it.
Jason, and they're talking back and forth, and finally got Jason to tell Coach Lujan, and Lujan was yelling at the ref.
Mr. Harrison, of course, a pretty respected ref in the area. So not trying to influence the game, but just trying to make sure the rules are right.
See if
Hey,
they
if
get
you know
it
the
right
rules,
here.
you got to make sure they follow them.
Exactly.
If they don't get it right here, Mr. Harrison, Jason Harrison will say something. Oh, he's clapping his hands now.
Yep,
they got the call right.
They put it at the 45. So
I will
that's
say
where
it's
we're
pretty
starting.
interesting to talk to him on Mondays after games because, he'll give you the lowdown on what he thought of the crew on Friday night.
Yeah, and not in a disparaging way, but he's seen it, he's done it, so he can give you that. Ace Long going to be the gun here with Denzel Emery. They're going to run that power set. Ace will take the snap up the gut, gets across the, probably
2 yards,
44,
yard and a half.
43. So, yeah, about a yard and a half, maybe 2 yards there. Be a 2nd and 8. Big key is here now. You could really take your time. You're in a rush. You've got that lead, and we saw him put together a 9-minute drive earlier in the ball game. And it's just measured at this point. But you got to keep the momentum going.
No, I'm really liking the feeling that the Boomers are in front, Tyler.
It's true. Long in the gun with Emery beside him. Got the up back and Ethan Matt. This time they'll sweep it out here to the near side. Got a couple
Good
lead
blocks.
Trying to cut it up. Not much there, though. Cashion did a good job to string that one out and take away the cutback lanes. Gain of a few, though,
About 3rd and 5.
for Ace.
3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, yeah, I think is what they'll call it. Nope,
3rd and 5.
So gain 3.
I think we might see Taylor Laird and maybe get a little action with him this time.
I don't think you go back to reverse right here, Eric. You can't just pop the reverse off.
No,
off the
I
sweep.
think they might be ready for it.
Yeah.
And Max Brown, I think he's lining up with Taylor Laird here.
It's going to be Ace in the power set. Denzel Emery beside him. The receiver to each side. Ethan Matt, the up back. On the far side of the formation. Snap. The handoff inside to Denzel. He's got a hole. He's going to cut it up. Is he going to get that first down? He will. Great run there by Denzel Emery. Nice hole opened up off the left side of the line.
And how about that play call coming out in the Wildcat where they, I guess what technically wasn't a true Wildcat. They actually just had Ace back in the shotgun, but everybody thinks it's going to go to Ace, and he just reaches out there, hands it off to Denzel, and he gets the first down.
And a 10-yard run officially by Denzel there. And Eric, because of that pressure that Ace essentially creates, with the threat of him being able to take that, when he pokes it out there and just hands off, you go, oh no, what are we supposed to do? You're not ready for it.
Right, exactly. But again, I like the play call. We've been able to open up the playbook tonight. That's what a lot of really what the passing game has done for us.
I think it's a delay of game.
Yeah, got a whistle, and yep, play clock hit 0. I think Coach Lucha, though, burned a timeout before that because there's just 22 seconds left on the
Yeah,
third
it looks
quarter.
like he got the timeout.
He did, so that will keep it in terms of not a penalty, but you do burn a timeout now. Not necessarily in a crucial situation, so to speak, but you would love to be able to keep those all in your back pocket if possible. But football's not a perfect game, right, Eric?
Yeah, and unfortunately, you don't know how much is that timeout going to slow things down a little bit for the Boomers. We we had them back on the hills. Now they have an opportunity to regroup, get in the
Catch your
huddle.
breath, yeah.
So hopefully the Boomers can continue what momentum they had going.
Coach Luchin going over the game plan here. And, the beautiful thing is, like I said, the momentum side of it. you're just consistent at this point. If you can get that 3-4 yards out of a cloud of dust, that's what you're looking for. And I think that's why we're seeing this, power sit come out here. Probably, I mean, Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but you just stick with it until Cashion proves they can stop it, right, at this point?
Yeah, I think you still got to kind of switch it up a little bit. I feel like we could still need to throw the ball a little bit more than we have here in the second half. I think you worry about getting a little too conservative.
Sure,
but
yeah.
Again, just until they can stop it, just keep going with it.
So, out of the timeout, 1st and 10 at the Cashion 30, 22 seconds left on the third quarter. Woodward leads 23-21. Ace Long in the gun. Emery with him. Ethan Matt, the fullback, up back. We got a flag down. They'll pitch it on the reverse to Taylor Laird. He's going to get to the edge. Makes a couple guys miss. Cuts it back up. Still going. Taylor Laird running hard out there. Finally gets dragged down on the far side, but there was a flag way back here. This one probably coming back, unfortunately.
Yeah, I wonder if this was probably a legal formation.
It might have been, yeah, because it came out as that snap was going. Nope, they'll say false start on the Boomers.
And that was kind of my other, what I kind of wanted, because it was right in front of Taylor.
Yeah.
So Taylor probably got going just a little too quick and got flagged for it. I wish they'd blow those dead, though. If a false start, you might as well just blow it dead.
Well, it's a safety issue at that point, right? You let the play roll on, you risk somebody getting hurt on the play that, like you said, maybe probably should have been stopped.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 10 seconds they'll have on the third quarter clock now. Got somebody's car not liking whatever's happening.
Wouldn't be surprised if they stop. Okay.
They're going to wind the
they're
clock.
Gonna look.
They're winding it. So 5 seconds. That might have been the last play of the third quarter, and it will be. So going into the fourth, Woodward leads 23-21 over the Wildcats here in Cashion. We'll step aside for a break and come back for the fourth. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 and Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you. And Woodward enters the fourth quarter with a lead for the first time this season, 23-21. I don't know what you – yeah. But Dakota pantomiming over here. So
Hey guys, I just want to say shorts was a bad idea.
Hey, I don't know what y'all were thinking. I was ahead of the curve. I have a long sleeve shirt underneath my shirt and pants.
I'm warm, but I'm a big guy.
1st and 10 for the Boomers, or excuse me, 1st and 15. And Ace Long going to get wrapped up in the backfield, tried to take the draw up the gut, and Cashion all over it. And they'll drop him for a loss of a couple from the 35. Looks like back to almost the 37, 38. So now a 2nd and 17 upcoming for the Boomers, just underway here in the fourth quarter. Not quite in field goal territory yet, but if you could get some yards near the stick, maybe not even first down, you're probably in field goal range. Not really much of a win factor tonight. Ace going to be in the gun, a receiver each side. Emery with them in the backfield and an up back. They'll head off to Emery. He's got an edge on the outside. Good blocks. He's cutting up the field. 25 gets near the stick, gets taken out about the 23-yard line. It's not a first, but gets back a lot of those yards and gets near the chains. They'll set up a 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, I think they took away about half a yard from where I can see actually where the turf came out.
Right, yeah, you're right there on top of it.
Almost a full yard actually from where he stepped out of bounds at, but I guess we'll take it.
I said it once, I'll say it again, and it never happens, but give Ethan Matt the ball.
You'll keep pining for it until it does.
Knock on wood every time I've said it, they've got the first down right after.
Ace Long going to be in the gun. Denzel Emery with him. Ethan Matt, the up back. Receiver each side. 3rd and 4 here on the Cashion 23. Ace will take it up the gut. Good lead block. He's got the first down a lot more. Making some moves. The 10, the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown. Ace Long and the Boomers extend their lead here at the beginning of the 4th quarter and go up 29-21. And a big 23-yard touchdown run there on 3rd down by Ace Long.
Guys, those are one of those I wish we could see instant replay on Boomer TV because the blocking on that was awesome.
Hey,
beautiful. I don't think Ace, he barely got touched. Maybe a hand on him.
You know, and he was running right behind this blocker.
Yes.
If they had the iPad, we could do instant replay. You know, from working for Boomer TV.
And so extra point here by Lucas Shirkey. Kick is up, and that one is good. And the Boomers now lead 30-21. 11:03 to go in the 4th quarter. They lead it by 9. We will step aside, take a break, and come back. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Woodward punches it in after starting at the 45-yard line in Cashion territory. I say punches in. Ace Long scampers for 23 yards on a 7-play drive.
Maybe he was playing a little hooky with him. He acted like he was slow to get up. What's he do the next play? He punches it in.
Yeah, goes off there for the TD. That one a 3-minute, 31-second time of possession for the Boomers. Kickoff here by Lucas Shirkey, pinpointed to Max Brown, and he had to kind of fill on the hop. The Boomers all over him on the coverage. Did a good job there for essentially no gain on the return. And Cashion will take over 1st and 10 at their own 29.
Guys, I was as Ace and Moose were coming back to the sideline after that touchdown, I kind of put my fist up, give a little fist bump, and Moose hit my hand. Man, that kid is strong just by running by and with a little fist bump. My hand still hurts a little bit.
It's a dangerous game whenever you make any contact with Moose. So Cashion takes it over, 10:58 to go in the 4th at their own 29. Back to pass as a cord. He's got Cooper Frazee over there. And
his knee was down.
Yeah, his knee got down. Thought he broke out of it for a second. Good coverage by Carson Medina to keep it more of a short, quick hitter for Cashion. Only about a 3-yard gain.
That was really, that was where you saw the talent of Brown, on making that catch because, he caught that on his back shoulder, and he really caught it with ease.
I think Brown's going to slant back right here.
Accord back to pass in the gun, looking, under pressure, and now sacked right there by the Boomers back at the 25. No, that was Casey Bourne. The linebacker jumped on his back and took him down.
Casey Bourne and then Moose came in there and finished off the play.
Moose is just waving hi. I don't know if he's waving to me or his mom or dad, but hey, Moose, how you doing?
Just waving at the crowd, I think. 7-yard loss on the sack. Brings up now a 3rd and long for Cashion, a 3rd and 15 from their own 25. They got to get to the 40. Accord in the gun, empty set. He's got 3 to the near, 2 to the far. The Boomers almost jumped, but do a good job not to. Accord will look back to the sideline now after going with a hard count. Gives his instructions out. He'll take the snap. He drops back. He's going to fire over the middle, looking for a man, and it's caught. Seth Gilbert.
Oh. No, okay.
I think that was a catch.
It was a catch. We thought maybe it came out at the end, but no. Good catch over the middle by Seth Gilbert. Makes it a 1st down into Boomer territory from the 25. And Cashion's territory to the Boomer, it looks like 48 there. 49, excuse me. So 26-yard touchdown pass. 26-yard pass. Cord up to the line, empty set again. 3 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. He'll check back to the sideline, now giving his line some instructions. Furthest receiver is Brown over on the far side. A quarterback pass looks that way. Throws it short, juggled but caught. But a good tackle immediately over there by Cooper Latal and a couple other Boomers. It was Max Brown on the catch for a gain of about 5, maybe 6.
You know, credit Cashion.
Seven,
they're getting the ball out much quicker than they were in those previous 2 possessions. It's not that the Boomers aren't putting on the pressure. It's just Cashion is making their plays a lot quicker.
Accord with another quick pass here into the flat to Max Brown, and Brown able to take it for the first down. Had some space to work with and cut it upfield. It goes from the 42 now up to the, as Cashion going quick, getting lined up.
8:40
up
to
to
go.
the 30, a 12-yard pass. Ford back in the gun, empty set again, drops back, under pressure, he's got to scramble away. Now he's got to chunk one deep, looking over the middle. Seth Gilbert catches it, and is it a touchdown? No, but a huge first down there for Cashion. What a play from Chance Accord.
Also, the receiver did a great job recognizing that he was in trouble and came back and kind of fell into that open spot to allow him to make that throw.
A 29-yard pass. They're going to mark it at the 1. Cashion trying to answer back here. Cord in the gun, running back with them. They'll take it himself. Will Cord, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. So Cashion finds an answer off some beautiful throws from Chance Accord to Seth Gilbert on this drive, and then punches it in from 1 yard out.
Yeah, me and Coach Dunlap were over here kind of giving each other signals of things that officials missed on that play.
Well,
I saw a false start. He saw a hold, kind of all over the place.
Chandler Christensen on for the extra point. The Boomers going to blow it up, though. This hold was bobbled, and so the extra point no good, and that's big because now instead of a 2-point disadvantage, it's a field goal. So instead of them taking the lead on a field goal, they would only tie here, 30-27.
And the Boomers are getting the ball back.
Yeah, now you hope you could enact that power offense and keep that clock running here. We will keep it here because we just took a timeout not too long ago with Woodward.
Were they trying to go for 2 there, or was
no? The hold just got bobbled.
Yeah, he just bobbled. He just bobbled the snap, and it hit his hands and dropped.
And that drive officially for Cashion about 2:38. So went down the field quick, covered 71 yards, and just a handful of plays there.
I bet Coach Lujan's saying right now, guys, we got to go down there and score slowly.
Well, at least string together some first downs, take time off the clock. I mean, if you could, with the pace the Boomer offenses ran, Eric, I imagine 3 or 4 first downs, you're probably looking at half that time on the clock off, right, if you could do that.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me is the drives that we've actually been able to put points on the board. You know, have been drives where we've thrown the ball a little bit. You know, it got away from that. You know, we had that one long power drive. You know, but outside of that, it's been times where we've thrown the ball and we've kind of struggled here in the second half, moving around and throw the ball.
On for the kickoff here is Christensen. He jogs up, puts a boot in this one. Bit of a sidewinder. Back to field it is Medina. He'll return it there. Gets here to the near side looking for some blocks and is going to be taken out of bounds. Trying to see the yard line. Not a bad return. Set up the Boomers 1st and 10 with 8:11 to go in the game.
Yeah, well, it looks like maybe we had a flag on the other sideline.
Interesting. Not sure if that would be on the Boomers or not.
I want to say it was a hold.
If it is, they'll back up Woodward here. And they're
see what it is. They're going to wave it off.
Wave it off.
Wave it off. So no flag on the play.
40-yard line, Tyler. That is really good.
No, that's not the 40. They're going to be at the 30.
Okay. Let's see. I was looking at the board here.
At least the 30.
Probably about the 32-yard line, I'm guessing.
The way that official picked up his flag, I kind of wondered if maybe he accidentally dropped it or started to pull it and decided not to or something.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
29-yard line.
29 is where they'll take over. 1st and 10, it'll be Ace in the gun with Denzel Emery. Up back is going to be Ethan Madden, receiver on each side, and a tight end on that far side is Corral. Ace will take the snap. He's going to take himself up the gut, finds a little bit of room, but runs into a couple of Wildcats.
It's a gain about maybe a yard and a half.
Nah, I think it's close to about 3. I gave him 2.
2nd and 8.
Yep, 2nd and 8 from the 31, or from the,
yes, correct.
yeah, 31, excuse me. Now officials timeout here. Oh, got a player down for the Boomers. Maybe some cramping your standing. I couldn't see one of our big linemen there.
Maybe L.J. Mason? No.
No, that's not L.J.
That's not L.J.
I think it says 65 maybe.
Devin Camacho.
Yep, Camacho. And he's been kind of working through some injuries this year, but in and out of the lineup a bit. Not anything major, but just stuff that's kind of been nagging. So that's always tough, Eric, when you're an athlete and you're trying to deal with that on a week-to-week basis because you never quite feel fully 100%.
I think it's a cramp the way she's holding him.
Yeah, he didn't go down super hard or anything. He just kind of popped to the ground. So I think you're right, Dakota, with that cramp. So 7:51 to go in the ball game currently. Woodward leads 30-27, searching for that first win of the season, a non-district tilt. But like we talked about, Eric, in the pregame, if you could get it, at least start to build some momentum towards the end of the season. That's, at this point, what you want to do is finish strong at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like, you know, we got all these young guys that are getting opportunities to play. You know, we saw Ryan Douglas tonight, you know, start to get a lot more comfortable. You know, and those are the things, you know, he needs to do as he competes for the starting job next year.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, these young guys, they just need to get a win and get a little bit of confidence.
Out of the timeout, the injury timeout, Ace Long in the gun. He'll hand off inside Emery. Another hole open. Emery across the 40, now dancing around a bit, gets up near the 45 where he's out of bounds, but it is a first down for the Boomers. See where they marked that one, but my goodness, I mean, the holes that are being opened up every time they hand off to Denzel, Eric, is in part because of that line and in part because of the threat that Ace Long represents.
Yeah, I think, you know, like you said, the line is doing a good job tonight. You know, but again, you know, everybody on the defense kind of moves the direction Ace is moving, and then all of a sudden you get that handoff and it's coming back the other way.
About a 12-yard gain there for Denzel on the run from the 31 to the 43. About 10 to go and count down. Ace in the gun. Emery with him. Ace will take the snap, and this time will take it off the left tackle. He's got some room. Cuts it up across the 50, now into Cashion territory. I believe it's going to be near the sticks. Might not quite be the first down. It's going to be about right on top of it.
Second and 1.
Yep, 9-yard run there by Ace. Good carry. Another good hole opened up.
Like what the Boomers are doing, kind of using that time to their advantage.
Got
Tyler,
to, yeah.
Don't want to give Cashion too much time back on the clock. Want to save as much as you can. Try to get down here and score a touchdown.
Well, and if you could punch this in for a score, a touchdown, you'd put it at a real tough spot for the Wildcats with probably, you know, maybe 5 minutes or so to go. 2nd and 1 for the Boomers at the Cashion 48. Ace Long in the gun, Emery with them, up back as well as Matt. Ace has got a hole open. He follows blockers, makes a man miss at the 30, and now finally gets taken down. And just, I mean, it was wide open as soon as he took that off the tackle. And Ace with an easy first down.
I don't know if you saw at the beginning, but he did make a defender really miss pretty bad.
And guys, that threat with Emery running the ball well tonight is starting to show, because now they're having to worry about both guys in the backfield.
And a 19-yard chunk play by Ace there. And, yeah, Eric, to your point, I mean, you can't really defend it when you got to guard two guys at the same time in the backfield. That is tough.
And with good talent, you know, getting in some breathers in between snaps allows them to have some more air.
Ace in the gun. Emery with them. This time they'll hand off inside. Oh, Emery put it on the ground, but I think he fell back on it.
Leighton Phillips, I think, fell on it.
Yeah, Leighton did. The big center fell back on it. Be a loss of about 2 or 3. Scary moment there. Can't afford a turnover here.
And you know, you kind of got to expect things like that to happen once in a while. That, you know, this package just not a normal package, and it's probably something they really haven't run, you know, practiced on, you know, until the last couple of weeks. So, you know, there's a chemistry that's got to be developed back there.
Yeah, well, and to that point, Eric, Coach Luchen said they practiced at the beginning of the season, but now brought it back out, and Emery was not there at the beginning of the season. So, yes, chemistry has definitely got to get built. 2nd and 12 for the Boomers. Ace going to be the gun. Taking their time here. Play clock just now under 10. Receiver on each side. Matt the up back. Ace will take the snap. They'll stretch it out to that far side. He finds a cutback lane. Cuts it up. Gets near the 25 to the 26. So it gets back some of those yards lost.
About 3rd and 7.
Yeah, about 3rd and 7, as you said. About a 4-yard gain.
Yep.
So, or excuse me, a 5-yard gain. If they're going to mark it 3rd and 7, they will. 31 to the 26.
You know, and I really don't want to take this away from Ryan Douglas, but, you know, do you kind of take this option of, hey, put your best athlete in a quarterback, even going into next season, and see what happens.
I don't know if Ace is a good enough thrower for that. He's a great athlete, but you got to be able to throw it for Ace. Snap, handoff to Emery. He's trying to bounce outside. He's getting crowd, tries to find a cutback lane, but he's going to be stopped for a loss of a couple. Oh, hold on now. Okay. Well, thought maybe Cashion was getting close to being a bit too harsh on finishing that play, but
after the whistle, he kind of had to get thrown down to the ground.
Here's the thing, though. You know, you make that argument, but you could also look at John Marshall and what John Marshall was able to do.
True.
You know, and if you put Ace in there as quarterback, let him throw a little bit over the summer. Maybe he improves, and you kind of have something different that you can add to the offense next year.
That is a fair case, Mr. Eric.
Yeah, I just say give it to Ethan Matt again.
Ethan Matt at quarterback, despite him being graduated, I think that'd be illegal.
No, I'm talking about let Ethan Matt run it right here.
Well, it's 4th and 8. You got to get 8.
Every time I've said it so far, it's worked out well for the Boomers. Let's see if we can do it again.
And now Woodward will take a timeout. They let the play clock run down. 3:32 to go, and Woodward facing a 4th and 8 from the Cashion 27, 30-27. Woodward on top. We'll step aside with them here on this timeout. You're listening to the Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, and Tyler Riggs with you. Woodward facing a 4th and 8 at the Cashion 27. 30-27 to the score. Boomers on top, 3:32 to go. Eric, the wind's kind of been a little bit more prevalent in this 4th quarter. Old Gloria has seen a little bit more action of it. Still not super gusty. Do you try this field goal? I see Shirky trotting out there.
The one concern, and trying to think about how this field sets up, that flagpole is blocked by a couple buildings. So if you get the ball up over those buildings, what's going to happen?
And it is going to be Ryan Douglas out there in the gun. Ace long with them. 2 receivers on the far, 1 to the near. The furthest is Laird. Douglas looking to pass. He's under pressure. He's got to float one up there. It's a bit of a wobbler. Coming back for the catch and caught. Who was that? Was that Medina?
That was
Carson Medina. A beautiful job.
Wow.
Was double teamed. Ball was underthrown. Medina was the only one that saw it, came back, made the catch. Huge first down.
Somehow Ryan Douglas, I always want to say Rylan, he just kind of floats it up there, Tyler, and here's Carson Medina, steps back, lays down, catches the ball. Wow.
They'll call that an 18-yard pass.
And folks, the game's not over yet, but that could have possibly been the game-saving first down, or possibly even drive to make it a touchdown. Let's see what the Boomers can get here. Start, Tyler.
1st and goal from the 9. 3 minutes now on the clock and under that. Ace Long going to be in the Wildcat gun. He'll take snap, direct snap, up the gut, fighting for it. Did he get in? And he is. Eric had it first. Touchdown, Boomers. And that might have just been the seal right there, as they will go up 2 scores here with just 2:51 on the clock.
That was all the blocking for the offensive line to just really open things up. Ace really didn't have to do too much work to get in.
And they've done that so well in the second half, Eric. You've really got to credit what that offensive line and guys like Ethan Matt, even Denzel Emery have done. Extra point by Lucas Shirky is good. And the Boomers lead 36-27 with 2:51 to go. And a great drive. Started at their own 29. They went 71 yards.
I was talking to Jackson Shirky just a minute ago.
Lucas's older brother,
and
yes.
And he said, I've been telling Lucas he has to take his steps different if he wants to nail that 45-yard field goal back there. Field goal.
I got you. Well, he's had some good distance tonight. That 45-yarder came up just, 2-3 yards short, which not bad there.
But then again, you talk about Jackson Shirky. That was quite the kicker back in the day for Woodward.
Oh, yes. And that was nearly a 6-minute drive. We're about 5:10 on that, so a little over 5 minutes on that drive. Started at 11, got scored with 2:51, so a just about perfect drive, Eric, to maybe clinch this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And just real quick, stepping up on this berm, it's a little bit more chilly out here than it is down there in the field. But yeah, that's the kind of drive that you need, if you're the Boomers, because again, it keeps their defense on the field longer. You're moving the clock, and the downside is, what's that going to do to their offense getting a little bit of rest? But now your defense is just that much more fired up and ready to go get them.
Well, not to say that you want a less score, but now you've got that cushion, 10-point cushion, 37-27. And really, as long as you don't make any crucial mistakes here.
Denzel Emery's sprinting on the field.
Yeah, they were man short on the kickoff. And it'll be Lucas Shirkey on to boot it. Takes his jog. A little bit of a short kick, kind of playing mind games with Cashion. The Boomers have a chance to fall on it, but I think Cashion did first. Oh, boy.
Man,
and
Denzel Emery
was
this close, Tyler. I mean, you're talking about a nail. Oh, my goodness. That was – wow.
I like the call, though.
It caught Cashion off guard.
Yeah, nobody's expecting the Boomers to do something like that. Shirkey put that in a perfect spot. He really put that in kind of no man's land. And
I mean, he couldn't have learned it anybody other from Jackson Shirkey, his older brother.
Probably not. Cashion takes over at their own 41. 2:46, a cord, back to pass, pump fakes, now loads up. It's got a man open deep. It's Max Brown down the sideline, makes a man miss. Still going, chased down from behind by Carson Medina. He is dragging him near the pylon. Did he get in? I think they'll mark him out, but my goodness, a huge play from Max Brown. Down to the 2 is what they will call it. My goodness.
Hey guys, I don't know how there was a hold missed because the Boomer, I couldn't tell who the Boomer was that was getting penetration, and he just got pulled down.
57-yard pass play. Now, quick snap here from Cashion. They give it to Frazee inside, and he is in for the touchdown from 2 yards out. And Cashion with the quick strike, 2-play, 59-yard drive.
And the only thing kind of saving this Boomer offense is that 2-point conversion, Tyler. That kind of got
You mean the missed extra point?
Oh, yes. As well with the safety because,
right, yeah.
That just kind of adds an extra point to that, too.
Well, that's your 3 points, but there's oh, nope, they call it good. I thought it was a bit wide there. Extra point is good. So now it's going to make it 37-34. Woodward still on top. They will get the ball back potentially, but I think, Eric, here you got to be careful of an onside by the Wildcats. 2:33.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking to somebody. Yes, that's definitely something you got to worry about is the onside. You've talked about how sometimes you get into these lower classes, you don't have the best kicking game.
Yeah.
But onside is probably something that is worked on a lot at these levels, and so it's not going to be something that you don't have to worry about. You got to be very conscious that this could be a good onside.
Well, and just because Chandler can't kick it deep per se, Chandler Christensen, he could still be working on those onsides, really targeting in on the short distance. So
Boomers really got to be careful here, guys.
Yeah. See the Haynes team come on, maybe. See how they stack it up. Looks like they're going. Oh yeah, they got tailing up here, so they're expecting an onside. It looks like with the way the Boomers are stacking up the kick return formation.
I'm just waiting for them to go for the onside and then kick it deep.
I think the Boomers would live with that if
Cashion
decided to kick it deep, especially with the way that run game's been going.
I'd like to see Moose get the ball here. That'd be kind of interesting.
Christensen line it up, and it is going to be an onside. Can the Boomers fall on it? Moose, and who was that fell with them?
Probably
Two Boomers fell on
Luis
it.
Corral or L.J. Mason.
And it was Moose who comes out from underneath.
Luis and Moose both fell on it about simultaneously, so good job there by the Hands team. The Boomers.
Not to brag, but I called it.
But, hey, honestly, good job by them to recognize where they were at. They were at that 10-yard spot. They stood there and they waited for the ball to cross it, and then they dove on it.
Yeah, nice, safe, and secure for sure. Woodward will take over at their own 49. And now you just need essentially a couple of first downs, and you've iced this.
2 minutes, 33 seconds. I'm thinking the Boomers can hold on to the ball that long if they're careful, conservative, and they play smart.
I'm going to say play action, poster out down the field.
Yeah, just load up, take the deep shot. Yeah,
kind of give them a little bit of payback for that long touchdown that they had there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be Ace Long in the gun. Denzel Emery with them. Ethan Matt, the fullback, up front. Receiver each side. Ace will take the snap. Going off the left side.
Got a
Got a
blocker.
hole. Got a blocker in front. Now to the 25-30. He might break it. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ace Long. 51 yards. Another beautiful run. Do we have a flag?
No flag. I want to point out the block that Moose
goodness.
made there.
Beautiful.
To allow him to cut the ball back up inside.
Moose, thank you for that block. We really needed it.
My goodness, Ace Long, have a night.
Honestly, you could say Moose has been the MVP tonight. Moose is down there tackling Coach Dunlap. They're all excited. He's excited right now, guys.
Oh, man. So the last 2 touchdowns by both teams have taken a total of 23 seconds off the clock, by the way, fellas. Extra point here for Lucas Shirky.
wow.
Ooh, that one a bit of a knuckleball, but he got it through.
Lucas Shirky is laughing about it. I don't know why he's laughing, but he's laughing.
It makes me wonder if he came, because to me it looked like he almost met the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's so fired up that he took off a little quick or what the situation was, but he kind of met the ball, and that's why I just kind of say, it looked like he was kicking a PK.
Now, something's not right. They say it's 34 to 44.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was
44-34, yeah.
Okay.
It's called math, Dakota. Math.
So I thought he.
So 37 plus 7 is 44.
Oh, you too. I tell you. But what a play. I mean, Eric, you mentioned the blocking and then the run by Ace just to power through. He almost got brought down probably about the 2, but kept those legs a-kicking and got enough for the end zone.
I know why I said that, Tyler. I thought he missed the field goal.
Oh, okay.
I thought he missed it.
Yeah.
Because the way you said it, I thought he just missed it.
Well, he knuckled it.
Like I said, it looked
missed.
like he was kicking a penalty kick.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a hard,
so
straight
confused.
kick. Now, if that was a penalty kick, you probably would have sailed the crossbar barely, but
accurate either way.
Yeah, it's still a good shot on goal.
Shirky on for the kickoff. And this time he'll try to kick it a bit deeper, still a bit targeted, short. Oh, a rough bounce there, but a nice job by Seth Gilbert to fill that for Cashion. Caught it off a rough hop and essentially took the knee right about the 25. So Cashion will take over with 22 to go in the 4th at their own 25.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but it looked like Carson Medina pushed Hayden Hilliard out of the way from hitting the guy that had the ball that touched it, number 18.
Gilbert, yeah. Yeah, you don't want to.
No, that would have been a penalty there. 2:22 left to go in the 4th quarter. Boomers up by 10, Tyler.
Now you just hopefully get a stop. You can't let that big play happen again. McCord in the gun, empty set. He's back to pass. He's looking. He's under pressure. He's got to step up out of it. Now fires over the middle. Has a man, but it's behind him and incomplete. And that was Gilbert that was streaking across. Well, he's open, guys, but passed just a bit off from McCord. A rare misfire by him.
Here comes the QB, Ryan Douglas, in the game for Zathan Clintonville.
The guy, if you were at home and you just heard Dakota go, ooh, that was because of the penetration that Moose had on that. Really, he had 2 guys. He was being double teamed. He got through both of those guys and made a run at the quarterback.
On 2nd down here, quick pass by Cord, tipped and not complete. Gilbert tried to come up with it, but a nice job. I did see which Boomer got a hand on there on the defensive line, but batted that one away. Essentially bring up a 3rd and 10 now for Cashion.
Take it back to that play that Eric and me were talking about. If Moose gets that, he's down for a big loss.
Oh, yeah.
Moose has some speed that I didn't know that he had. He is kind of like a Superman sometimes in a way, folks.
2:11 to go in the ball game. 3rd and 10 for Cashion. Chance of Cord in the gun, empty set still. Drop it back to pass. He's looking to the near side, still surveying. Now he's under pressure. Boomers almost get him, and they do get him for the sack. Host the Boomers in. Ethan Matt, Kason Bourne. I saw LJ Mason around it. That whole front 7 doing a heck of a job here in the 2nd half. A big loss, 4th and long.
Hey guys, there's going to be people across the states going to look at this game and like, oh, look at that 4A team beating that Class A team. But hey, to be honest with you, I feel like Cashion can compete with Weatherford and Cash and some of those schools as well.
In most years, absolutely. They're that talented. The quarterback
LJ Mason looks like he's got it.
And the Boomers have him wrapped up again. As you said, LJ Mason, another host of Boomers in on it. And they will force the turnover on downs with 1:27 to go, up 10. Now you could just kneel this one out. Ethan Matt getting some help up there what a performance from this Boomer defensive line. Excuse me, that was not 8th, Matt. That was Casey Bourne getting some help up. Big boy's been on a lot of those sacks.
Moose is limping off the field, but I'm not worried about him, Tyler.
Nah, he's good. He's good.
Go home, throw an ice pack on it.
Be good for next week.
Oh, yeah.
Minute 27 to go. Woodward going to take over, and it's pretty much all over but the kneeling now. You just got to kneel it out. You got this one in the bag up 10.
You know, Moose is kind of like a grown man, so, I mean, you hurt him, and he just gets right back up.
All right. Ball on the Cashion 13. Victory formation out here for the Boomers. First time we've been able to say that this season. Good feeling.
Does Dakota need to go ask Moose for his autograph?
I think he does.
I think he
does.
Or somebody's fanboying back here.
And there's the kneel by Douglas. I don't think Cashion is going to use their timeouts. Coach Shackelford, not a district competition, so you're not worried about the marginal points that you might be in some other weeks.
I think that we have won the fan battle over here, Tyler.
And, yeah, again, shout out to this Boomer crowd. Gave some good energy for these guys. We brought the band, not the full band, but they came out, gave some good energy. The dance team, you mentioned them, Dakota, the cheerleaders, did as much as they could to create a home-esque atmosphere here for the Boomers, and you got to have that on the road. So, and they're rewarded by seeing a Boomer W upcoming on the board. Second down here, Douglas going to take another knee, and that should do it just about, as they will start the play clock at the same time as the game clock.
Yeah, I think the play clock's the game clock's a little ahead of the play clock.
Coach is running over here to shake a hand.
And they will. So the Boomers going to get the first W of the season. They will take down Cashion here in Cashion, 44-34. Going to be your final, and the Boomers get, more importantly, that W on the board. We'll step aside, take a break, come back with the post game. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. And welcome back to Boomer Football on Z92 Boomer TV. Eric Scott, Dakota Wagner, Tyler Riggs with you. And the Boomers, for the first time this season, can say they are victorious. They take it over the Cashion Wildcats 44-34 tonight. And a 4-touchdown performance from Ace Long, the freshman. Doing it all, Eric. That defense really came on strong there in the second half with that pressure and made, that's probably 2 or 3 times the numbers of sacks they had coming into this game on the season they got tonight. Big credit to that Boomer defensive line. Then we mentioned the blockers out in front. The entire offensive line, Ethan Matt at fullback, and even Denzel Emery was throwing some good blocks out there on the edge.
And I'm going to jump on the Ethan Matt bandwagon here,
Hey.
because I feel like he did so much tonight. Not just on the offensive side, he did great on the defensive side. And you could look at the score and say, the Boomer offense put up some points. You said a 4-touchdown performance by Slong. But again, to me, it all goes back to really how well the defense played after the first two possessions by Cashion. If it wasn't for those two possessions and really that turnover that kind of brought down any kind of energy the Boomers had, this may have been a lot different game, maybe even a blowout.
Yeah, and just, the ability, though, I think we talked about it in the first half at halftime, where they were able to you get down 14-0. We all had that collective, like, oh, no, this might not be pretty, and you fight back. You get yourself to 21-14 at the half, and you carried that momentum and finished the game. Something we haven't been able to see them do, put together those full fourth quarters. And that's just got to be huge for the spirits, and not only of the young guys, but for the seniors. Say, hey, we finished the game out right there.
Right. And, to me, it also goes back to that fighting back. There's been a lot of times where the Boomers have had some fight, but they've never been able to get back.
Yeah.
And tonight it was they were able to make a play, and all of a sudden they just started rolling. They got that confidence. They weren't worried about what was up on the scoreboard. They just kept rolling. And probably the coaching staff early on said, guys, let's not worry about it.
Yeah.
We got a lot of time. I mean, there was still, 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
There was, yeah.
And so the Boomers had plenty of time. So there was no need to rush, and all of a sudden things just started rolling for them.
Boomers take the win tonight, 44-34 over Cashion. We'll step aside for our final break, come back, and put a bow on things and get you set for what's ahead. You're listening to Boomer Football on Z92. we're on the beat for you guys. Thank you so much. Have a safe trip if you're traveling back. If not, join us tomorrow night for quick scores. And if you don't join us then, join us next Friday for senior night at Boomer Stadium. You have been listening to Boomer Football on Z92. Have a good night, everybody.